So I'm mostly live, just making sure YouTube's happy. I got a red light on YouTube, so you know how it is. I'm not sure if people can see what's going on yet. Why are they not so... I don't know why. I haven't changed any settings at all. YouTube's not happy today. Dropped frames a minute ago. Who's that? Just double checking, but hopefully this works now. It was just apparently when I started it up, it dropped some frames. I want to make sure it's uploading smoothly before I start the game. Getting a lot of buffering. Why? What's different? I haven't changed any settings at all. Unless... Let me check networking here. What's going on? Yeah, I definitely have a red bar on YouTube, so it's not super happy. Just run a real quick speed test here while we're live. It'll probably drop the stream or something. Something's funky today. I don't know what it is. Great start. 96% drop frames. What is going on? Something weird's going on. Sorry guys. I don't even know if anyone can hear me. Alright, we're trying again. We'll see if this shows up, but only to YouTube, not to restream this time. But we'll see if this even works. If this doesn't work, I don't even know. Actually gonna load? Has something changed with no buffering so far? Well, that's better. I'm still seeing a red light on YouTube. Maybe when I refresh my YouTube window, it'll update. I actually have no idea what's going on right now. Because I haven't even touched OBS since the last stream, of course. No, it's definitely a red light. So what is going on? It feels like some setting somewhere must have changed. I mean, you guys can probably tell if you can hear the audio without skips, if that's working or not, but I'm not really doing anything video-wise. Wonder what's going on. Well, if Fella says it works, then maybe it works. I don't know. I'm certainly getting lots of warnings. Let's Yeah, if I'm testing my own video on YouTube, I'm only getting 144. Like, it's not playing for me either. This is really weird. I'm sorry, everybody. Oh, we're up to green light on YouTube. That's probably a good sign. It's just something slowing down. Hey, Robert. This might be the kind of game you're into, even. I don't know. There's some spooky monster stuff tonight. Alright, well, I think it's working now. I mean, I'm just gonna give it a little bit longer, but I'll wave the mouse around a little bit for you guys to say hello. I'm hoping that everything works. There's some more sound effects so you can tell it's working. Should be chat pop-ups and stuff on top of the window that disappear. I got a green light. I can see it at least 720, so hey, you know, it's not like this is a action-packed first-person shooter. That'll be fine. OBS is eating a lot of CPU today, so I don't know what's going on. It might be because I had to capture the game in windowed mode, which is always a little bit risky. Let's take one more stab at playing it in full screen, which tends to be easier on my poor old computer. Can you still see? Is that helping? Looks like we may not be able to see the game. Maybe? Oh, no, it's there. Oh, man. If only I knew how to use... If only I knew how to use OBS. Be a real professional here. Don't worry, guys. I've got a new CPU on the way. Things will be way better soon. There's the editor button. So that's supposed to be a window. How is that even visible? Now it's gone for sure. I feel like OBS works so much better in full screen mode. But then it doesn't actually pick up the game. Yeah, that's the problem. Switch it over to full screen mode, it doesn't work. What CPU did I order? I found a Ryzen 2700X, which was, you know, last generation, last year's model. But it was on Amazon Prime sale, which was, like, actually significantly discounted. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get a new computer. Alright, I give up. We're going window capture mode, because that's the only way it works. Alright, that'll just have to do. It's fine. You know, hopefully that works for you guys. Is that 8-core, 16-thread? It sure is. It should make streaming a lot easier. I'm still running an old i5 3570K, if I remember correctly. Just an old, it's like 7 years old now or something, but it was super good, like very good value, but it's only 4 cores, 4 threads, and I think I had it overclocked to like 4.2 gigahertz or something like that. So I've always been suspicious of getting a new CPU that has less cores, or not less cores, sorry, less like clock speed. If you've been running 4.2 gigahertz since like 2012, then buying a new CPU at 4.3 did not sound like a huge upgrade, but I think it's been long enough, it should make a difference. Because there's other things besides just the gigahertz, so... Yeah, I did run... It's not up tonight, I took it off, but I was running kind of at the bottom. I had like a donation tracker and stuff, so some kind YouTubers have helped assist the purchase, and then I've, you know, spent some of my own money, of course, it's fine. But, we did run a little bit of a donation drive on the channel, and that should make these streams... This is kind of the end of an era of my old CPU, and then hopefully next week, or once I get everything reinstalled, we'll have some new fancier streams. All right, anyway, let's start talking about the game here. We're already like 15 minutes in. I haven't even pressed start. So Lobotomy Corporation. I expect not a ton of people know about this game. I'm going to try recording while I do this, because I might end up uploading this to video later, and if I do an introduction, I'd like to have it there, so we'll see if that works. Hello, future tubers, as well as live tubers, and welcome to a let's try, maybe let's play, we'll see how it goes, of a game called Lobotomy Corporation. I expect it's not super well known. It's not like a mainstream title. It's probably pretty indie, and I believe it was a Korean game originally, like a Korean development team that hired translators and all that. So it's not like it's not like the next Mass Effect or something, but it's pretty cool. So it's kind of a base management simulator with monsters and stuff, and you're mostly managing employees and monsters, and we'll get into the details as we go, but it's a little different, and we're going to take names from patrons and the chat and stuff, and we'll throw you guys into the monster base, trying to suppress the monsters, and you'll probably die, but it's fine. So one thing to note before we even get started here, this game doesn't have a perfect translation. From what I heard, the story is kind of like the guys that developed the game hired some translation company to, translate it all from, I think, Korean to English and other languages. And they did not do a great job. And I think the developers got a little bit sort of screwed. So there's going to be some grammar. Generally, the spelling's not bad, but the grammar is not up to par, really. But it's okay. It's not really terrible. It's just be warned that it's not like a native English sort of writing. And there is certainly some text to read that we'll go through. Other than that, right at the beginning here, if you do know about Lobotomy Corporation, whether you're a live tuber or a future tuber, I'm going to have to ask that you do not post spoilers in the chat or in the comments, or else you'll probably just get banned, because although I know a little bit about what's going on, I've played through some, there'll be people watching that don't know it at all, so we'll try to keep it spoiler-free where possible. A lot of the fun of this game is learning about the critters, the monsters, the abnormalities, as they're called, as we go along. And if you're familiar with, what is it, SPC, I think is the acronym or whatever, it's like, I don't know anything about it besides this game, but there's kind of a subset of, like, what do we call it, like a monster genre of, like, mystery horror monsters in the SPC sort of world. I think it's maybe from like a manga, or I don't know, it might be. Like, I don't even really know much about it, honestly. But anyway, this is kind of related to some of that stuff. So those of you that are familiar with that will probably be familiar with some stuff, even if I am not. That said, that's all there is to say. Let's start the day. So one of the things about the way this game works, again, early game introductions, you could play it Iron Man mode with no restarting ever, but the game isn't really designed for that. You can, every game cycle, every game day, if too many people die or the base gets wrecked, you can just restart the day in game. Like, it's easy. It's built for that. So we won't, I'm not going to say I'm going to reload every time someone dies, because I'm not. But, sometimes we'll have to reset. So it's not like it's not like a, what do we call it? An Iron Man sort of game. There's also a mechanic where if your base, depending on what happens, gets kind of messed up, and you're halfway through the game, give or take, or a third of the way, I don't know, a few hours in, whatever, and you just can't finish a day, you reset, you keep all of your information and your weapons and a bunch of upgrades, and you go back to day one with all of that power. So it's kind of got this cyclical improvement idea. So if we struggle, don't worry, there's a way to get around it. And there we go, we've got someone in chat helping with the SCP thing. More about horror writing. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I thought. I just didn't know how to explain it. Thank you. That's great. So yeah, it's got some sort of lore background. There's a lot of elements like that. So let's just get going. I just wanted to try to introduce it, because it's kind of a complicated, weird setup. It's not like any other game I've played. So it's definitely got some weirdness. So every day will begin, other than this one, with picking 3. You'll have 1 out of 3 that you get to pick, and they'll give you kind of a hint on what it will be. And I know a good number of them at this point. Now, day 1 is special, then you always get the same one. But other than that, you usually will have 3 boxes and you pick 1. So, it feeds on the evil that surfaces during conversations between people. This is where we'll find some of our grammar mistakes and all that, but these things it actually reminds me a lot of Ghostbusters, because, like, you know, they're kind of in these little containment cells, and then you open them up, and you have to deal with them. It's got a lot of that kind of vibe, so it's kind of cool. And, yeah, it is a little bit anime, you know the drill. Also, the music is surprisingly good, if you're wondering, so hopefully you guys can hear the music. So, hello, X. Welcome to Lobotomy Corporation. I am Angela, your advisor and secretary. Even though I am AI, feel free to talk to me. It's rare for an AI to have a name. I am created from one of the wings of the world. That means I am one of the best. Ah, I know what you are thinking. You're thinking that I look too human to be an AI, aren't you? But there is a big difference. I am bound here. I can't go anywhere I want like you do. I can open a door or prepare a cup of coffee for you, but I can't go outside to enjoy the sun or breeze. Well, as you can see, my hair color is that of the morning sky after the rain, my voice is that of the wisest person in the world, and my face is that of the person with the most beautiful smile, except she's not smiling. Ha! That was a joke. There's no such person in real life. My appearance has been made to be attractive to as many people as possible that like anime. If you feel attracted to me, I am working as intended. Well, AIs are far more efficient than humans with multitasking. That's why we're getting a new CPU. I am the best in most areas. She chats a lot. I can do the work of several dozen people at once, like a computer. I am sure that many people lost their job because of me. That's probably for the best, given what I know about this job. I wouldn't feel sorry for them, actually. It's probably better if they're all AIs at this point. Enough for the introduction. Do you have anything that you want to know? So you get these, like, you know, you can ask a question, only one per run. So you don't get, it's not like, well, Mass Effect, again, we'll continue to the thing, where you can generally go through all the dialogue options. Just pick one and let's learn about the company because, you know, sure. It's Lobotomy Corporation, right? Not bad for a question. Let me put it this way. The energy consumption rate is ever increasing as technology... This is in the future, sorry, by the way. The energy consumption is ever increasing as technologies advance. Conventional energy sources combined could not sustain the world anymore. In search of solutions, we stumbled upon mysterious beings dubbed as abnormalities, and figured out that we could harvest energy from these beings using a special method. So, like, we're playing Ghostbusters, except that after we capture the ghosts, we harvest their energy. Perfect. We isolate them in a controlled environment and harvest energy from them. The company became one of the wings of the world for this discovery. I don't really know much about that, but, you know, standard anime, super government corporation, you know, you get the idea, right? Once you're assigned as a manager, you can access the information about the abnormalities from the encyclopedia. Sure. It is very important that you know and understand these beings to be successful as a manager. Yeah, so this is, like, super, super important. If you don't figure out these abnormalities, well, you're not going to have a good time. It's empty for now. It's your subordinate's job to fill it with data. That's also kind of an interesting note there. Subordinates. And you have joined the company at an opportune moment. Lobotomy is looking for ways to improve its harvest processes. Our systems are continually updated to support this. Speaking of which, there has been a new update just before you came. That means working conditions have been improved. Better than your predecessors. I'll just try to skip through that if I can. Think of it as my welcoming gift. I hope you do well. I was about to mention to you, you don't understand the concept of patience, do you? No, I'm actually kind of want to get this started. You know, the YouTubers are waiting. Manager, I think you should meet the other AIs. Lobotomy is a huge corporation, and there are many AIs working in different departments. If I'm the cerebrum, they're the cerebellum. Naturally, I am your most trusted. Anyone that starts your introduction with, I am the most trustful. Yeah, that's great. Shall we meet them now? Let's go see who number 2 is. There's also lots of little hidden details in some of these scenes if you're paying close attention. We'll get into it eventually, I guess. Manager! My apologies, I am 1 minute late. Welcome to Lobotomy Corporation. Now, we don't need your... Oh, this is Angela. I'm gonna have to try to work out some voices for these guys. Now, we don't need your theatrics, Malkuth. Please be punctual. Go prepare for the next meeting. Angela is not in a good mood today. Sephiras are looking forward to meet you. Well, maybe not all of them. Where are my manners? My name is Malkuth. I'm in charge of the control team. Lots of responsibilities, really. I will try my best to help you to enhance the performance of this facility. I am sure that you're nervous now. It will take some time for you to get used to things around here, but don't worry, I will help you. I used to be a problem, Sapphira, you know. I once sewed the buttons of a shirt in the wrong direction, or added salt instead of sugar to some food. Aren't you an AI? But that was a long time ago, and now I am good. I will give you an easy task as it's your first day here. Best of luck. I don't even have to do the voice acting. Someone's at the door. They really want our attention. I can't take it anymore. Are you the new manager? I want to get out of here. Please, I know you can fire me. Please, I beg you. Why do you want to quit? Don't you like working at the control team? I'm enjoying my work. I can't take it anymore. I will go insane. Nothing here is normal. I think you're the perfect person for the job. I don't want to be here. I don't want to die. I'm sorry for this nonsense. That employee is one of mine. Let me take care of this, please. I mean, you know, it's her job, right? I will not disappoint you. Please do not be alarmed. These things happen often. It's your first time. Usually Angela or I handle this kind of situation. It's just a hiccup. Nothing to worry about. No, please, no! So, I guess he probably got fired. So then you generally get a quest. You know, you'll see these fairly straightforward. There is a lot of dialogue in between missions, so we just have to stomach through it. Let's see. The main thing here, a little bit of flavor text, and then a quest to complete an abnormality work 3 times. That'll be fine. So this is our like base menu where we sort of build up all the different teams as we unlock them. You can probably guess the names of 3 different sections, and we start up here. So we'll just go with that. There's only one thing to click. One thing with this game is it does continue to get bigger, so it'll start off very simple, and every single day you'll get another room with another monster, basically. So, you know, let's just get to it. The game takes a little bit long to save and load. I'm not sure exactly why, but it does slow down a bit for that part. This confused me for a while when I first started. A memory imprint is kind of the way the game background saves your employee data. That will happen every few days. Like, not every single day, but every so often there's kind of like a background save, and you can go back to those. They're kind of like checkpoints, I guess, would be probably the easiest way to say it. Alright, although you do save every day, but, you know, it's like if you've sort of messed up, you can go back a few days. Okay, so there's our quest. This is our one team so far that can have 3 employees, and eventually 5. We've got 1 abnormality that we don't know anything about. We'll go over this screen as we can, but for now it's all locked. We don't actually have the resources to unlock any information. And eventually there'll be a story that we'll chat about as we get that going. Anything else on this screen to talk about? There's a tutorial here. We're not going to go through all this. It's not bad. It's actually a reasonably good tutorial, or, you know, backup manual. But we're not going to go through all that. Okay, so assignment needed means you have to assign somebody into one of your departments. So we start with 1 guy automatically. We'll drag him over there. Finn is our first guy, and I'm just going to make myself right away. So lob points are like your employee hiring points you get every day, different amounts. So then you get this little screen. We're going to customize them for 1 additional point, and I'm just going to make myself first because, you know, why not? And then after that, we'll take on chat and so on. So you make yourself a name, and these are your base stats: fortitude, prudence, temperance, and justice. It costs more points to upgrade those, for instance. And then we got a little bit of customization here. So without spending too much time, I'll pick out a look for myself. You know, that's fine. You can customize manually, but that's good enough. And then we'll pick a face. You know, that's good. That's fine. Now there are different options for your basic face, your panicked face, and your dead face. But I'll never die, so don't worry about that. And what else is there? That's pretty much all you need on the screen. So bam, we're hired. So now we got 2 employees. And We'll see how long Finn lasts. Just so you guys can see at the beginning here, Fortitude is your maximum HP. Prudence is your maximum SP, sanity points. Kind of the same thing, just some things will deal HP damage, some things will deal sanity damage. So, physical fortitude, mental fortitude. Temperance is more like emotional support, and it affects how successful you are with work and how fast you work when you're actually doing a suppression of an anomaly or something. And then Justice is like the hardest stat to really conceptualize. It's like repression, so this is like sort of your formal like work ethic or conduct kind of thing, I guess it's supposed to be. Or, you know, when you're beating the monsters with a stick or something. I don't really know what it's meant to be exactly. Those three are fairly simple to translate. This one's I'm not sure exactly. And, you know, we'll raise them as we go along. So anyway, let's get to our... Well, there's also equipment, but we don't have any right now, so don't worry about that. So let's just get on with it. Alright. Day 1. So this is our base. As we expand the rooms on the other menu, this will also expand. Simple enough. You can see us walking around. This is our, I believe it's called the Regenerator. When you're in this room and the bar fills up, you heal, and there are also some bonuses for this section as we upgrade it. For now, we move a little bit faster, so you can see movement speed gets a buff. It's not 1. It says movement... Well, it just says increases movement speed for all employees by 1, but that's not exactly true because we're getting +4 right now, and there's some other effects that apply, so... I don't know all the details. Anyway, we got our first abnormality. So let's look at this thing. We got some crazy skull thing with a cross. And before we even start, you could look at... Sometimes you get a little bit of a story about it, just so you know what to do to start. A silent abnormality that understands the conflict between good and evil. Its empty eye sockets stare at all those who encounter it. A giant skull that is attached to a cross with a crown of thorns. It floats about 2 meters above the ground. Now... Because I sort of know what to do with a lot of these, I don't want to spoil everything by just automatically picking the right choice. So I'll be selecting my openers somewhat randomly rather than pre-knowledging everything, like metagaming it kind of thing. I want it to seem a little bit more fair for if you're playing along. So the way we work is we click on it and we have to select one of the 4 stats, basically. Instinct for Fortitude, Insight for Prudence, Attachment for... Temperance, and Repression for Justice. So you pick one of these that you hope will be successful. There is some logic... Hey, Tim. There is some logic to what works on what. Instinct... Like, you have to think, like, when would being... if you're channeling your physical strength, when would that work? When are you channeling your mental strength? You're being smart or thinking about it. Or your emotional, your feelings kind of stuff. Or when are you just trying to stop it from being bad? So, if I didn't know anything, I would look at this thing as a weird cross skull. I don't know what this would really tell me. Maybe you'd want to repress it because you're scared of the skull. Like, you know, that's not terrible. We'll send in Finn first because, you know, why not? Also, eventually we'll be able to fast forward, but for now, just normal speed. So it takes a little bit of time to get there, of course. There's a little door. And there you go. So as you... I'll pause it here for just a second. As they complete the work, these boxes will be produced. And if you fail, there's sort of a random roll. Bad things will happen at the top. And your employee will generally take damage when that happens. The words inside the room you can mostly ignore. I believe they're just flavor. But the words down here help you learn what to use on the abnormality. Also, important notes on this screen. This is the symbol for the work you chose. We picked Repression. You can see it's the same color as Justice. This is the total energy collected from the monster. The energy collected on the current work. And then the other things will make more sense once we have them unlocked. So, having no information on it, Finn is understandably terrified of entering the containment unit. It gently floats in the air and moves sluggishly. Oh, see, we took a little bit of damage there. It has no eyes, but it recognizes the presence of Finn in the room. Finn failed to trigger a reaction from it. This is not good. Bearing the pain is half the atonement. When the room flashes like that, that's when he's taking damage. So 3, and the red is bad. So we did not succeed very well on that. Now, unfortunately, at the moment, we can't see his current... Like, we can see his maximum stats, but we can't see his actual stats. There's an upgrade that we'll get before too long that will let us see our HP and SP, our current HP and SP, but not yet. So we'll get there. Now, I believe if we select him from here... Nah, we can't even see it here. Oh, no, we can see it here. I'm not sure if this is an oversight or intended, but from this screen, when you're selecting someone to work, you can see their current SP as well as their total. So he took at least 12 sanity damage while he was in there. And if he'd taken too much more, he would have... Well, I mean, what do you think happens if you lose all your sanity? So that was not a good start to our day. If he'd taken maybe 3 more ticks of it, that might have been enough to push him over the edge, maybe. Or if we send him back in right away without letting him hang out in this room. So, like, as we get these little healing bubbles, I'll just do it once so you guys can see. Once this fills up, he should get one. There you go. Particle effects. Awesome. So now if we check Finn, he's actually fully healed. I think it heals at least 10 HP SP per cycle. It's probably more than that. So yeah, he's fine. He's ready to go. One thing, sort of meta-wise for later, if you look at our stats, when you take an action, the associated stat will increase a little bit. So by doing repression, his justice attack speed and movement speed will start going up. And eventually he'll hit Justice level 2 as these stats get higher. But it takes a while. It's kind of complicated. I don't want to get into it too much right now. The higher the level abnormality and the lower the level employee, the bigger the difference. So if you are a high level employee against a low level abnormality, you get less of a benefit. And also the amount of successes. So getting 3 successes is much worse than getting 10, for instance. Anyway, so we got to send someone else in there. But with 3 whole boxes, we could learn something. We don't have enough money, or we don't have enough energy to unlock the name and the basic information, or how it will escape, or any tips. Usually, I would recommend going for tips first, but we can't afford them, so let's learn about one of the works. So we tried repression, it did not work. Let's check out insight. Alright, so this is your employee level, or, well, not their employee level, the stat level. Insight level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the associated success rate. So, for me, let's take me next. I only have level 1 in all my stats. But now that we have unlocked a little bit of research, you can see it says high chance of success. Well, that sounds good. Let's get in there. Will this eventually be on the channel? Maybe. I haven't 100% decided, but I'd like to get it on the channel, yeah. If I stick with it long enough is kind of the thing, because it's a fairly long game. Oh yeah, I gotta unpause it. But yeah, I am currently recording. Alright, Blue, let's do this. Alright, maybe it's best to send an honest employee to tend to it. You hear the extra little chanting in the background? I don't know if it's loud enough for you guys, but there's a little extra... It's sort of added to the background music. But this is much more successful than repression. And now our total energy up at the... I'll go over these more as we get to them. Top left green bar is our target for the day. Once we have 15, we can end the day. And then this thing is called the clip-off counter. Clip-off... Yeah, it's probably the clip-off countdown. Well, clip-off, I don't know, however you want to pronounce it. It's a weird word. And then that's like your clip-off level. So we're currently in level 1. Every action will add a bar. Once the bar is full, something will happen. Well, we'll at least show that off. But now that we know more about, we've got more points, let's figure out what it is. So this is 1 sin and 100 of good deeds. Hundreds of good deeds. 1 sin, hundreds of good deeds. So that's the name of the monster, the abnormality. Zayn is its difficulty. That is the weakest, of course. We start with the weakest out of 5. That's its ID number. It does white damage, which is what does sanity damage. and they give you the numbers you need to hit various targets. 8 or higher, you get a good. 3 or lower, you get a bad. You know, we've seen both of those already. And then the maximum energy output per work. Every time you finish a section, this is one section, this is one section, this is one section, this is one section, you get an observation level, and that gives you a passive buff whenever you work with this monster. So now, even if we sent someone to do repression again, they would still have 5% better success, even though they kind of sucked last time. They would still do better now. Or the things that did well will do even better. So that's kind of how it works. And there you go. So now we know that it's Zayn. We know its name. We probably have unlocked some more story about it. We'll get to that in a second. So we know insight works. Let's send Finn back in there for a little bit more insight. If you're wondering, this is your weapon, the type of damage, the number of damage, and then your defense against the 4 damage types. That's your armor. We'll talk about those more as we get further into it, but each stat has an associated damage type. So 4 colors, 4 damage types. See you later, Tim. This is a pretty cool game, though. Hopefully this makes it to the channel and you get a chance to look at it a bit more thoroughly. As you can see, as soon as you walked into this room, we got our 3rd tick on the clip-off meter. Finn is just not as good as me, obviously. He had 5% better odds, and he still did worse than I did. Technically, we could end our day, but I like to at least finish researching the monster of the day, because if we don't finish that, then tomorrow there'll be 2, and I would at least like to know how to handle 1 before we get a 2nd, 3rd, 4th kind of thing. So I try to at least finish 1 per day. Okay, so we got 7 points. That's enough to finish this section off if we unlock these 3. We still don't even know the important tips like I normally would start with, but... So now you can see, for Instinct, at low levels, common, Insight is high, Attachment is high, Repression is common. Now, just because they both say common doesn't mean that the odds are exactly the same. There's probably some sort of internal, like, high probably means, like, around 70% or so, maybe say around 80% maybe. Common is maybe around 50%, and low might be around 25%. Maybe split them into those kind of categories, but it doesn't mean they're all exactly the same. Level 5 Instinct might be worse than level 3 Repression. I don't know the background math, but that's just a generalization is what I'm trying to say. It's also affected by your stats, these 2 stats. So, with that, we can tell that Attachment is the best way, probably, and at low levels, Insight is also pretty good. Now, early game, I think it's generally recommended that you try to increase your HP and SP stats first, so that you don't die as easily or go insane. So for now, we'll stick with Insight. But upgrading Temperance is probably my favorite stat because it's your success rate and how fast you complete the work. So Temperance for me is generally what I prioritize because it's... Maybe we should talk about that. But Temperance affects how successful you are as, like, it's sort of an addition to the selected skill kind of thing. Now, what just happened here? Red buzzer alarms going off. We finished our first, I'm just going to call them cycle on the clip-off counter. So at the end of the cycle, there was a number there. This is the number of units that will have a meltdown. So the red border indicates a meltdown, and then there's a timer here that's going to tick down. Now, because technically we went into the facility before the meltdown started, this doesn't count to fixing it, and this will be paused until we get out. But normally, once this happens, an unused room would start a countdown, and if you don't finish it, then something will happen. The solution is to send someone in before the timer's up. And every time we finish a cycle, as the base gets bigger, this number will get higher, and bad things will join this, other than just, there are other meltdowns besides just rooms going bonkers. And then this keeps track of what level you're at, goes up to at least 10. So, we're working in a room that's melted down, but it doesn't really affect anything, so it's all good. But you can see the timer is currently paused. As far as I know, the success rates are the same, typically. Maybe some monsters have special... There's lots of weird things that can happen with these guys, so there may be an abnormality that does have different effects during the meltdown, but for the most part, it just means you need to send someone in there to work on them. So that was a pretty good success, 9 out of 10. Good job, Self. Now we have 10 points. That's enough to unlock the tips. The tips tend to be the most useful for avoiding breakouts and total base destruction. So 1 sin in hundreds of good deeds restores the employee's sanity points when the work result is good. This is a random employee that we don't have, but they often just insert random names. Galena, who was on the receiving end, commented that it felt refreshing. And then after perfectly producing PE boxes, 1 sin and hundreds of good deeds restores the SP of all employees in the department. That's pretty cool. I'll talk about these in a second. So basically, whenever we get a good, which is 8 or higher, whoever went in there gets their sanity healed, which is pretty handy. And if you get 10 out of 10, everybody here gets their sanity healed. That's also very cool. Anyway, now the timer starts ticking down. Let's send in Finn, who's traditionally failed us terribly. Yeah, we are studying the crap out of it. Like, this is very important research. 1 sin is the safest of all abnormalities, though, I think. So it's really not that bad. It is the newbie guy. You can see it has a positive effect if you're good at your job. Finn has probably failed every time, but we'll see. Maybe he'll do better this time. Also, in the future, we'll be fast-forwarding a lot through this stuff just to save some time. Oh, nope. No perfects for you, Finn. Nice try. At least he got 8. I needed 6 or so to get the last research. Okay, so with that, we've got 11 PE boxes, 11 energy boxes. We can unlock the final observation level with its escape information. The good news is 1 sin does not escape, and he does not have a clip-off counter. This will make more sense once we see one that has a clip-off counter, but essentially, that's where this will go. And generally, when it hits 0, like they usually start at, say, 2 or 3, and then if something happens, it goes down. And if it gets to 0, bad things tend to happen. So you generally want to keep an eye on that, and if it can escape, they'll tell you there kind of what stats it has. The rest of the screen, this is the weapon we can make out of its PE boxes now that we are done researching it, basically. And also the armor we can make it. It's still Zayn class armor and weapons, which are the lowest tier of weapons and armor. But you can see it will reduce red damage by, well, 10%. It'll reduce white damage by 20%. It'll reduce black damage by 10%. And you'll take double damage from pale, which is very, very rare, so you don't have to worry about that too often. Whereas the weapon, it is a white dealing damage weapon that does 5 to 7 damage of white at a normal speed and short range. Now, I'll tell you straight up, short or low range, like the shortest of ranges with normal or slow speed weapons, tend to be not very useful because things just move out of the way before you can finish your swing. So that's generally not a great combo, but we don't have any choices, obviously. And then the last little thing here you might have noticed is the Ego Gift. This is just every time someone works on it, they have a 5% chance of getting an accessory, basically. And it's just sort of a passive bonus, a little bit of extra maximum SP on their head slot, and it makes them better when working on this specific abnormality. 10% extra effectiveness on him. So if you're going for perfects, someone that has this Ego Gift is quite useful. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but I would say that, especially if you're playing for the first time, early game, you probably want to spend a little bit of more time after, technically, you could end the day. You probably want to do a couple extra works before then to, you know, grind out a little bit of stats or make sure you got a couple new armors, because right now, our armor does nothing. We actually take extra damage from black, tons of damage from pale, neutral damage from red and white, and we've got a red damage stick. We hit things with our riot stick. Even the 1 sin weapons and armor are better than that. So I think what I'll do, I really don't want to waste a ton of time here. I would like to have 2 or 3 armors, and that's probably all we'll do before we go. And that won't really take very long. And we'll also get a little bit more SP while we're here. But yeah, this part can be a little bit grindy. You don't have to do this, obviously, but the game gets hard, and getting a little bit of a snowball early on will definitely help. The problem is with no fast forward, this is really boring. I'll probably save this stuff till we have fast forward. And multiple, you know, if we had 4 abnormalities, we could each work a different one at the same time, and things would go a lot quicker. But I'd like to at least get the armor, because who knows what abnormality number 2 is. I'd like to at least have some armor ready, just in case, right? Alright, that is 2 armor. I'm going to make 1 more, because I'd like to hire another employee. And we'll take someone from chat, probably. And in case you guys are wondering on the future tubers that are watching the video later on, yes, you can leave comments with your names, and I will get you in here eventually. I'm going to probably prioritize the live chat or the patrons or YouTube members first. So I've got probably 10 or 12 names of those guys I want to go with, and then we'll take in whoever, anyone else that wants, basically. A demonic broom. Well, like I said, this is the safest of the abnormalities. There's probably not too much about this guy that can kill you. The next one, though, well, let's see. I did not get the perfect, so we've got to do 1 more. You can also pre-move your guys into the rooms. You don't have to send them from the regenerator to the work. You know, you can move them around the facility. So this hallway takes you to his room. This hallway will take you to an elevator, and there'll be kind of a mirror on that sign. Oh, alert, alert! Clip off meltdown. I don't even think I can just ignore it, actually, because we're just going to end the day anyway. Oh, there's one more thing we should do before we end the day, though. As soon as we get the armor. The last thing. Well, we're consistently getting 9s. That's not bad. It doesn't look like either of us got the lucky drop, the Eagle gift, or you'd be able to see a little, you'd be able to see that item on their head, so you'd know they had it, and then you could check for it here in this menu. But anyway, so we got 3 armors. That'll be fine for now. And what I forgot about was the story. So this is where things get wordy, and I'll try to just read through it a little bit quick, but some of these are really good. And I feel like it really builds the story up as we go. And sometimes, like, those story paragraphs, they unlock as you complete these sections. Sometimes these stories really help learn how to deal with the abnormality. Like, you might only have a tip, and you're like, I don't know what that means. But the story might explain it a little bit better. It just depends on the translation. So we know that it's a giant skull. While its appearance is bizarre, incidents of violence against employees by it has rarely been recorded. It feeds on the evil that surfaces during conversations between people. The assigned employee must confess their sins to it. Its feeding mechanism is still unknown. Now, one thing to note here is that sometimes there are abnormality interactions, of course, between different abnormalities. So it is nice to remember their story, because if you find something else that has some weird interaction with it, it's nice to know what you're in for ahead of time before somebody's like, oh, if I see 1 sin, I blow up your base. It's nice to know about that ahead of time, if that's the kind of thing. I'm not saying that there is a situation like that, but, you know. Experiment log. The sins have been cataloged in 3 levels. At level 1, a small lie or action that either goes unnoticed or can be shared in jest. Level 2, sins that are more serious and are only shared to the closest of friends. Level 3, sins are so profound that they cannot be shared with anyone and are taken to the grave. Redacted has been assigned to confess level 1 sins. Energy production increased by 12%. Redacted has been assigned to confess level 2 sins. Energy production 15%. Level 3 sins. 1 minute and 48 seconds after the employee was sent in, a bright flash of light was seen. The light was so bright that it was seen even outside the containment unit. Immediately following the light, there was a company-wide power outage. The phenomena lasted for 2 days. Redacted lost 6 years of their memory. The experiment was cancelled following the incident. The level of mental corruption of all employees in the department was greatly decreased. Ethics decree that all footage of those who participated in the experiment were to be kept sealed. But the incident left us no choice but to review the footage in the containment unit. Now, I just want to say, I do know a little bit here. I'm not going to spoil anything, I promise. But it does turn out, and this is why it's such a good example, that literally this paragraph does apply to something else that we may or may not see in our base later on. It'll probably take ages, if it even ever happens. It might not even happen. But this actually does apply to the story of the game with a different abnormality, specifically. These really high-level sin confessions. That's something that might happen in this Let's Play. Again, I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm just saying, you know, there's stuff like that. Don't look it up. You'll ruin it. Redacted. This happened during Redacted. There's a lot of that. At around 4 p.m. By the way, will this really work? Anyway, there was a railway about 20 minutes from my house. Some of my good friends and I decided to have ourselves dressed as forest animals. One of us decided to dress as a deer. It was a crude costume, one that could hardly be called a costume, to be honest. It was just a pair of clumsily made antlers and a dark outfit with some deer-like spots on it. Anyway, I don't know how our deer friend... sorry. I don't know how our dear friend wandered into the woods. We didn't even realize he was missing for an hour. We looked for him and finally found him in some bushes. We called out his name, and I'm not sure if it was from relief of finally finding us or what, but he started sprinting towards us. And that's when we heard it, the gunshots. Bang, bang, bang. We didn't know where it came from, but when I came to my senses, I saw that his blood splattered all the way to my feet. After that, not one of us dressed up as an animal ever again. Observation log number 4. Its eyes are empty. It is a skull after all. But I doubt it's blind. I feel its gaze on me, and it's listening to me, and confessing to it lightens my heart. Afterwards, we investigated incidents during the period of the employee's hometown to get a better picture. We learned that a boy named Justin was shot and killed in a deer costume by hunters during a deer hunting season. The deer hunting season. Unlike the employee's confession, Justin was repeatedly bullied by other kids, and witnesses said they heard the kid shout, "Run, Justin, run!" right before the gunshots. After the incident, the kids at the scene moved out of town, and deer hunting was banned in the area. So that's your kind of stories we're going to get. Not all of them will be this long. This is, you know, it's your introductory story, so of course this is a bit bigger and more, actually, pretty well translated for the most part. So, there you go. That's one sin. That's... Okay, there was a side effect of not... I didn't pause it. Well, that'll teach me. So, because we didn't deal with the meltdown in the 60-second timer, it actually subtracted from our total power. Of course. And I believe it subtracts... I think it's the max amount that it can output. So if you skip it, it goes down -10, like, for that one. If something can give you 30, it'll be -30. In case you're wondering, this is just a log of the people who've done any events. This is actually quite useful for certain abnormalities. So, while it might not matter for one sin, it's good to have around for later. And I need to do one more time. Just because we can't end our first day that quickly. Alright, one more insight from me and that'll close it up. I do apologize if this seems a little slow early on. I promise it will get much faster and more hectic before too long. This is certainly meant to be your introduction where you're just learning the ropes. And honestly, the fact that you lose energy on a clip-off meltdown is probably pretty good information to learn. Also, we'll have enough money to buy more stuff if we want. More energy money. Let's buy a penitence mace, basically. Alright, good enough. Day 1, that's it. Alright, so this is our summary. This is if you succeeded on the quest, which of course we did, and a summary of your stat changes. So both Finn and myself got an upgrade in our prudence, because that's what we worked on, and therefore our maximum SP went up. Finn, because he did a little bit of justice, got a little bit more of those stats. And then if people died or anything, you can see it there. 21 minutes is a terrible time. But the ranking is based on survival, not time. It's not a speedrun kind of game. It's just a don't die kind of game. And then you get lobotomy points. I'm not sure how this ties in, if it's rewarded for getting higher ranks or not dying, or maybe you get more points if people die. I don't know. But anyway, we can use those to purchase new employees. And then the promotion is like their total employee rank. So every few stat upgrades will get an employee rank upgrade as well. And then you could retry the day. Like I said at the beginning, if you're having troubles with your day, just press retry. You don't even have to go to load. It just starts the day over. Alright, day 1 complete. Super long day. Gotta just sit back and enjoy the mood sometimes. So once you're done, you gotta select your next abnormality. So, obviously, if you recognize the ID numbers or the description, you'll know ahead of time. If you're playing blindly, though, of course, you won't know. So you just have to go with your gut. And some of them will be real bad, and some of them won't be so bad. Somewhere in the distance, you hear seagulls. I hear they'll poke your knees, though. People have been committing sins for a long time. Why do they commit such a thing, even when they know that it is bad? This is a record of the day that we must never forget. So, which one should we pick? I wonder how I should do this, because I think I know all three of them. I don't really remember this one, to be honest. I know at least these two. Why don't we just pick the most fun one? This one's too easy. This one's like the same as one sin. This would be the smart pick. If you're playing along, go with the seagulls. This is... I'm not going to say it's completely safe. None of them are 100% harmless. But this would be a nice safe pick. This will be a more interesting pick, and I don't remember this one. This is a record of the day that we must never forget. Oh, wait, I do remember that. That one's terrible. Don't pick that one. If you're just starting out, don't pick that one. That's enough. Yeah, that'll cause you problems. Well, honestly, both of these would be bad picks if you're brand new to the game. Anyway, we'll go with the sins, because it relates to one sin, sorta. Face the fear, build the future. It's the motto of the founder, whom we call A. Which part of the motto do you prefer? What do you guys think? Face the fear, build the future? I feel like we're not going to get anywhere if we can't face the fear, especially as, like, new players, so yeah. We're the first humans on Earth to discover abnormalities. Well, not me. I am not a human. Ha ha ha. We face the fear, fella. You got it right. Good guess. How should I put it? We're pioneering a whole new world. Wait a second. Didn't Aladdin just come out? The new one with the song? This game came out before that. The discoveries we made so far are merely the tip of an iceberg. Abnormalities were among us from the beginning, but we have only recently noticed their presence. We discover them, and we fear them. They are frighteningly alien in nature. So, just for procedural information, there is generally an end-of-day wrap-up with Angela, and if you succeeded on your quest, the section you're in, for instance, we're in Malkuth's section right now, their story will progress if you complete their quest. If you do not complete their quest, then you will miss part of the dialogue. Like, I think everyone finishes this quest, but, you know, the scenes are sort of linked based on what you do in the game, basically, if that makes sense. Anyway, there was some confusion last time. I am in charge of the security of your office, but I forgot to pay attention to the meeting room. The employee who made a fuss yesterday resigned. Good job. You know what it means to resign here in the company, don't you? I take it as no. Then it's my fault. Let me explain. Apparently, some aspects of the company may shock you. Apparently. We have a variety of roles here. Like a well-oiled machine, everyone has their role, and they must do their part without error. Now, imagine one of the gears wears out faster than the other. It's obvious that the gear would grind down the other gear it's connected to, and so on. It would be wise to replace such a gear before it grinds the machine to halt. That is why we say resign. Excellent, you did what I asked for. I knew I could count on you. Well, to tell you the truth, I was a little worried about you at first. Oh, how was my day? It was alright. Had an emergency protocol drill. No one was injured or died. Everybody did a good job. Not that the team is perfect, though. By the way, have you seen them? Some entities that are creepier than the abnormalities. I sometimes sense them in the corridors when I am alone. The drills do no good when you see them. We know nothing about them. No matter how meticulous the plan is, it can't control the unknown. There. I don't know. I'm not afraid of them because she's an AI. She's a machine. She doesn't have feelings. I feel something different. Something that It's a strange feeling. Something nauseatic. How would you know? She's a friggin' AI. Maybe she's an AI that has nausea. What can I say? Something wriggling inside me. Little by little. Alright, she is referring to something that we'll learn about eventually. Something that happens in the hallways. It's not an abnormality. Anyway, next quest. Your job is not just keeping the abnormalities under control. You need to make them happy. Complete 4 works with a good. That's fine. Alright, and then end of our day, we unlock another section. Bam. And then this is where the game saves. Synchronizing may as well be saving. We also get to pick an upgrade as we complete quests. You'll get to pick all 3 of them, but you get to pick the order you choose them in, because you get 1 per quest, I believe. This kind of stuff is going to apply to multiple departments. We only have 1 department, so it doesn't really matter. Same thing with this one. If you had multiple departments, you'll need these to send your people. Basically, this is nice, but not necessary. I think this is practically necessary for a large base. And, I mean, this is even more important anyway. So we're going to start with, you know, fast forward. Simple enough. Although it might be interesting to note that the game has a built-in lore description for how the timer of running the base works. Does that make sense? The actual game knows, like, Malkuth knows that we can speed or slow time up to control our base. That's not totally insignificant. I'm not trying to spoil it, I swear. But seriously, it's interesting. Anyway, so we got a new one. So basically, like, for the Let's Play people, the video people, that's got to be in the episode, because this will be our break point where we can sort of save and load in between and do our setup. So for those of you watching on the YouTube video side of things, I have no idea how long that video was, but thanks for hanging in there. I hope you've enjoyed. Like I said at the beginning, please don't spoil the game in the comments, and I will see you for episode 2 if this ever gets posted. It should have stopped recording. Yes. Okay, cool. Hey guys, how's chat doing? You guys hanging in there? Stream's working all right, hopefully. Let's hire. I can only really afford one person from chat, and I think it's only fair that the moderator gets to be in first. The longest or shortest lasting, but I will try to get to everybody as we unlock 48-minute video. Yeah, it's going to be a bit long. That's okay. I will try to get to everybody as we unlock points. It's just early on, there's not a lot of points to go around. So I'm going to start with Fella. It's probably, you probably don't even want to be in here, honestly. So we got to pick a face for Fella. And this way, this part won't be in the actual YouTube video section. We'll just introduce them and get the game started. I don't know. There's a lot of options. I don't want to go through them all. Like, I can't do this for every single person where we go through all, like, 48 options. Holy smokes. That would take a long time. Let's just say, if you have a preference on color, we can go that far. There you go. That's a look for you. And then you can have a face as well, of course. That's about right. In fact, I think that's what we're gonna do, because you're the first viewer to make it in. The wide-eyed expression is about right. You can have some awesome blonde hair there. That's not bad. I need a better way to I guess it doesn't really matter, but it would be nice. Okay, I think what I'll do next time is I'll pick a name from chat or something, and then before I start, I'll go like equip armor or something. People can pick out a couple things, like the color of their hair you can pick out, or a general request. But it will take too long if I go through all the options, so we're not gonna do that. As fun as it might be. Because like every choice has like 44 options for each single choice. Like, that's crazy. That would take forever. We can't be doing a full-on XCOM here. What did I have before? There's the eyes. That's good. I like that one. Shocked and scared out of your wits. Good enough. Hopefully that's good enough for now. Welcome to the team, fella. Next time I'll try to give people a bit of a warning. Alright, so what are we going to do? Armor. So, equipment screen. You got your armor setting, your armor tab, your weapon tab. You can sort by the tier of the weapon and armor. So these are your 5 tiers of abnormalities and weapons. Zayn, Teth, Heh, Wah, Aleph. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy enough. And, you know, we've only got 3 people, so it's fairly easy here. Armor, we made 3 suits of armor. So everyone gets some armor. I did explain how the stats worked a little bit, although it'll make more sense once we see enemies that deal damage. But clearly, taking less damage from stuff is better. You know, easy. And we have 1 weapon. Of course, you know, I'm going to have a weapon. Basically, I've got the beaten stick. And if someone goes insane, I promise to smack you with this stick, because if you are insane, white damage will heal your sanity. It makes perfect sense. So if you go crazy, I'll heal you with this stick. Anyway, that's the plan. I guess I should probably start the video again for YouTube, and then I'll explain that again. Also, we've got another abnormality to learn about. It's a little confident bird. I'm so glad I picked the friggin' bird. Well, it was a bird or seagulls, so, you know, what are we gonna do? Alright. Hello, future tubers. And welcome back to Let's Play Lobotomy Corporation. I'm a little bit out of practice with the whole streaming recording thing, so forgive me if I'm a little bit out of sorts. We, in between recordings, just so you guys know, is when I'll be adding new characters. So welcome Fella to the team, because he's in chat, and he's one of our moderators. He's been around a while, and we'll get to more people as the series progresses. Obviously, if you're leaving comments in chat, it will take until I do the next recording session, so there might be a fair bit of delay. But don't worry, if I continue this game long enough, we'll go through dozens, maybe even hundreds of names, depending on how poorly I play. So you can certainly give me lots of name suggestions, and you have a reasonably good chance of making it in. Second reminder, please don't put spoilers in the chat. I'll just remind people for a couple more videos, and then we'll be okay. You guys, I can trust you guys, right? Alright. Hey, Dobry, we're still, well, I started, it's a late stream, I definitely did not start it early like some days. So, I equipped some weapons and armor in between. We only have the one, the penitence. Oh my word. Speaking, I haven't spoken in months. I don't know how to Let's Play anymore. Anyway, we equipped the One Sin Penitence armor, which gives you some defenses, better than no defenses. And if you take black damage, you have a very small chance of healing your sanity. So it's actually kind of important to check the details out. Most armor and weapons do not have special, like this is all flavor text, basically, just stories. It's good to know. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to read all these, but they're good to know they're there. But if it's in orange, that means it's like an ability for the weapon and armor, and not too many armor and weapons have it, but it's good to know. So if someone with penitence takes black damage, which is this one, they have a chance to recover some SP. And with the weapon, when they attack, they have a chance to restore SP as well. But only if they have 2 justice. Nobody has 2 justice right now. So once we can upgrade our justice to level 2, then if you hit something with your stick, you yourself have a 5% chance of healing a little bit of sanity. It's kind of cool. I wouldn't be betting on a 1 in 20. That's a crit on a D20. Critical miss or critical whatever. But anyway, that's that. So we have fully researched in the last episode One Sin, and we read through all his stuff, so that's fine. We do want to finish up his armor and weapons, though, just to make sure we've got them all, so everyone we recruit at least has some basic armor to start with. And for today, we will be researching a little confident bird that punishes the weak, the sinners, and other profane ones. Some employees stated that it looks fairly cute after seeing its small wings flapping. It's cute, guys, don't worry. Totally safe. Now, one thing a keen-eyed viewer may notice is the cost to unlock things has changed. And this is how you predict how difficult of a monster it will be. It's not perfect, but if you remember one sin, it was 2 points per section, 8 points, 8 points, 4 and 4, I believe, if I remember correctly. The bird, it's more expensive. 50%, 50%, double, a little bit more. Overall, like 4 tips is 12 instead of 8, so, you know, it's about 50% more expensive, give or take. Probably means it's a more dangerous creature, or at least it might be. Anyway, let's get going. Our goal for the day is to do 4 goods. We should be fine. Alright, the base has expanded. And look what we've got in here. It's just a cute little bird on a little stick. It's totally fine. Just sitting there chirping away. I mean, flapping its wings. Looks kind of cute. Fairly cute. So what we're going to do is we're going to research this guy. And I'm going to have people in the background working on one sin. So the new guy, fella, is going to see the bird. Don't worry about him. Finn and myself are going to hang out with one sin for a little bit longer. You can see our sanity has gone up a fair bit. It means that actually it'd be much smarter for... Like, let's just say the bird deals sanity damage. It doesn't. But if it did, having more total sanity would make it a lot more survivable. So don't worry, though. It doesn't deal SP damage, so you don't have to worry about that, fella. It won't affect you. Not having a little bit of grinding. So for today, I'm going to work on attachment for myself and Finn, and we'll just let that go on in the background. Alright, fella, what do you think? I did say fortitude, prudence, temperance, and justice. Fortitude you generally put with physical, instinctual kinds of things. Insight is more logical, thinking kind of things. Attachment is feelings, your heart, your gut. And then repression is like... I don't know, that's the hard one. It's the other one. This is the other. Etc. It's the etc. Usually, in my experience, when you're dealing with an animal in this game, an animal abnormality, it's a fairly safe bet to go with instincts, because they are physical creatures. You don't really share emotions or logical thought. It's not like a computer or a book or something. And I don't know, repressing just seems like a bad idea to start with in general. It rarely is the right option. So, let's just go with instinct, because I'm a nice manager. And we'll see how he does. And meanwhile, in the background, we finished up already, so we'll just keep this cycle going in the background with those guys working. The clip-off counter will go up every now and then, it's fine. Alright. Also, we have fast forward now. Very nice. So, employees put a perch in its containment chamber because it seemed to be bored. Uh-oh. Okay, 1-to-1. Not good. Actually, the perch is there to prevent it from being stepped on due to its small size. Don't step on the bird, fella. 2-to-2, 50-50. It never chirps, but its stomach twitches sometimes. It's got a nice little red pattern on his stomach. He'll be fine. Not many know about its hidden teeth. What? Birds don't have teeth. You survived! Fella! Not dead. You didn't die. Congratulations. I'm gonna leave you here. I want to see how much damage it did, just so I can... Like, I don't want you to heal up until I know exactly how much damage it did. And then we'll send you to heal. So, because at the moment this is the only way I can see our HP, fella, he did take 12 damage out of 17. So... he might have been able to fail 1 or 2 more times before it would have killed him. But he didn't fail, so it's all good. Alright, get in there and get regenerated. And me and Finn are just going to hang out with one sin. So, now that we have 8 points, we can learn more about the bird. So, again, I know a lot more than I'm sharing, clearly. But I do strongly recommend you go for the tips first. Strongly recommend. For almost every single abnormality. The name of it doesn't matter. Which works best, you can just figure out with the experimentation fairly quickly. Although it is sometimes nice to get one of those. And the escape information, well, I mean, that's nice. But if it escapes, you're going to have a bad day no matter what early on. So what do we learn? When an employee enters the containment room in another abnormality, its clip-off counter has decreased with a normal probability. This is just like the other ones. If it says normal, I'm assuming around 50%, but I don't know exactly. And clip-off counter, I did mention that about one sin not having a clip-off counter being nice. When an employee falls into a panic, its clip-off counter has decreased. So there's two ways for its counter to go down. Either working on something else besides it, or panicking. And you might notice that I've been doing a lot of work over there. I'll stop doing work over there for the moment, since now we know that that's work over here could cause problems over here, essentially. Alright, fella, you ready for attempt number 2? Now, instinct, you survived, so I feel like it might not be a bad idea to stick with that. If you survived one instinct, maybe you can survive 2. I wouldn't want to risk going with something that's very bad after that. He'll be fine, guys. Alright, don't worry about the clip-off meltdown. That's not the bird. That's the facility alarm. And we've got lots of time before we have to worry about that. So I'm just going to get myself ready. I'll fill in after he goes healing after this is done. Alright. It feels like it's back in the forest it used to live when sitting on the perch. The eyes are great. You need to stop failing, though. Actually, the purpose of the perch... Oh, we already read that one. Meltdown timers for the entire base. Yeah. Most of the time, it acts like a normal bird, flying here and there in the containment chamber. Fella loves normal birds. Just gotta get some more successes here. Couple more successes. You don't want to take 6 or 7 damage hits. Seriously. Like, well, fella has not survived. Don't worry, we'll rebuild him eventually. That's the problem with the bird. So, sorry, fella. Such is your life. And death. Don't worry, Finn's got this. Speed this up a little bit. I'm just gonna go back to the regenerator for no reason. You almost made it! You just needed to not fail so much. Now, maybe... Actually, hold on. You know what I should have done before I sent him in there? I didn't even... Even when you fail, you keep the energy. So, although fella failed us, we can finish learning about the bird. Thank you for your information, fella. So, let's learn some more about the bird before we watch... I did pause it, right? Yeah. Before we watch Finn get murdered by the bird. So, it returned to the containment room after a panicky employee became normal. Or after a certain period of time. So, what it's saying here is, if it escapes, it will return on its own if someone stops panicking or after some time. Order an employee to take control of birds. When the employee tries to attack the central part of it is broken and redacted. After that, the employee's death confirmed, failure to suppress. So, let's just say that it breaks out, and we send someone to take control of it. It kind of sounds like something bad happens. And maybe we should see that. Yeah. Because this is a learning episode, let's get this going. This episode is meant for learning. A lot of times, when you get a new abnormality, the first time you try to work it, it kills everybody. And now we're down to employees. Clearly, instinct was not the right choice. I definitely did not do that correctly. So it's just me, and, well... yeah, I want to see it escape, honestly. This won't take too long. I'm just hanging out with one sin. We got a pile of corpses in here with the bird. The fairly cute bird. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough research to unlock the information. If I could see this, I could see its clip-off counter. Also, it turns out Insight is the correct choice. Instinct was the wrong choice, and I probably should have tried out a different color, but, you know. The animals use instinct rule is not always correct. It turns out it's better to think about the bird than to touch it, I guess. I don't know. Alright, Dobry, see you around? I'm going to stream again tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how my energy clicks. Oh, by the way, I got this cool headband. It doesn't really matter. Supposed to put the alarm over there, jerk. This cool headband means I'll be really good at working with one sin. I honestly just want to show off what happens with the bird first here. Because, to tell you the truth, when 2/3 of your employees are dead, it's probably a good idea to consider resetting your day. And then you can learn. Like, now I know to send people in with insight rather than instinct. Headbands make people 10 times more efficient. Man, not against whatever that was. But yeah, in case you forgot, or I never explained it, headband from one sin gives you higher SP total and supposedly better success rate against one sin. But I mean that last one failed pretty bad. Wonder if I clicked the wrong action. No, I did attachment. Attachment should be our best bet right now. Come on, bird. Hurry it up. People want to see what happens when an abnormality breaches containment. Bad enough you pecked them to death. I forget how long this will take, actually. It shouldn't take... I mean, it would be much easier if the clip-off counter melts down the room and we ignore it, because that'll definitely lower the counter for that room. It's a clip-off meltdown, clip-off counter. I don't know what these are supposed to be. Meltdown level. Meltdown stages or something? I don't know. Apparently, the bird will never escape. Trust me, it'll escape all the time in the future. It's just... I think it's because we only have one, and it's only got like a 50-50 chance of dropping its counter right now. It's just taking a bit longer than I would like. Classic. At least we got some nice background music just thumping in the background there. Well, I mean, if I can't get it... I'm going to see if we get the breach over there. There we go. That'll do it. So now we just got to wait till this goes down. I figured 50-50 odds. That might do it. Alright. So, what happens when the meltdown occurs? Well, it sets the clip-off counter to 0. So what happens when this thing's counter gets to 0? Also, we lose some energy. It has escaped the containment facility. What are your orders? Well, there's a little bird flapping around. Alright. Today we fight in the regenerator room. Alright. These guys, you can't control them. They're just like random clerks or something. You can right-click it. You can select somebody and right-click it to attack. Or you can left-click it and use the menu to select them from that. Conveniently from here you can see our stat, our HPSP. So, here goes. I'm going to hit it with my stick. There we go. Oh, well that's unusual. Dead. So, I mean, it does warn you. It does say... The central part of it is broken and, well, that happens. And then you're dead. And you can't, I don't even know if you can suppress it at that point, because it does a lot of damage. So, of course, what it means there is we have to reset our day, which is fine. Because I'd prefer not to have to start off the game with 2 or 3 dead employees. So we're just back at the beginning of the day. We'll get this going. This time, fella, look at this. Resurrected, back from the dead. You'll be totally fine this time around. It's the nature of Lobotomy Corporation. So you lose all your information on the abnormality when you reset the day. So we don't have it unlocked. But we still know, right? Because we know. And oh look, Insight. Much more survivable, barely. But he did survive. And, let's see. I'm gonna try to get the name of it next, I think. And just like last time, Finn and Blue are gonna just grind a little bit while fella's learning about the bird. It's fine. We know how to handle it now. There's no way it can kill anybody. We've learned all we need to learn about the bird. Alright, fella has worked it twice without dying. It's a new record. It's called Little Bird. It's a tier 2 abnormality, a TEF, and it definitely does red damage. Yep. So now we need to stop the meltdown. So that will be Finn's job. And he should be good at it because he's level 2 on Insight. Fella actually had a bit of a disadvantage on Insight work because the first 2 employees had already leveled up Insight a bit. So you can, hopefully we'll see here that Finn does a little bit better. How many know about Little Bird's disgusting flesh that divides into several parts? Well, we do now, because we saw it. Look at that, 10 out of 12. Alright, with that, let's learn about, I don't know, escape information. There you go. So now you can see that it has a maximum counter of 4, and it's actually very weak to all damage types. And it's still at level 4, so as this number goes down, we will know approximately when it will break out, which will make our job a lot easier. Also, fella, get back in there. So one thing that's kind of cool here is because it's a TEF level, he will gain his stats faster working on this thing than we are gaining them over here. So, that was kind of why I split them up, was so that, whoever was working the higher level guy, you know, could just focus on stats over there. Alright. We have enough energy technically, but, you know, the research is not done. We do have better success rate, but we've got, you know, a few more things to unlock. Meanwhile, we've got more points over here, so we can buy more equipment. Bella's all healed up. Get back in there. Clip-off counter did go down to 4. Or no, yeah, never mind, it started. I thought it went down. Come on, you can't let it kill you on Insight work. That's your jam. Also, I got my cool headband again. There's definitely some min-maxing you can do with those accessories that I'm not going to worry about right now. But you can send people to different abnormalities to try to get them the accessories you like the most. Some of them are quite useful. Alright, let's get that unlocked. Now we can see its armor and weapons, which are actually a big upgrade. A huge upgrade, one would say. It'd be nice to get at least one of these today. And let's check out other ones. So, Insight, if you remember, said high. So attachment would not be better. Alright, one more time for fella, and then he can take a break from that one. I promise. Don't be nervous. That's because if you're a lower level, your employee level to the monsters level, you get basically a think it's a sanity, a SP debuff based on the difference. So you do sort of take extra damage. Alright, don't worry, I got this. Alright, you know what, fella? You've earned some time with one sin. He'll be much nicer to you, don't worry. Alright, see, look at this. No problem. Repression would have been a terrible idea, in case you're wondering. And now we have it fully unlocked. All the research is done. But we would like to get at least the armor. The weapons, we're not going to use the weapons a whole lot yet. But it will be nice to have the new upgraded armor. Because it's, well, there's a couple reasons. Not only does it protect against red damage better than our current armor, which is what's killing us working on the bird, but because it's a Teth class, I'll have to show you in the manual, but it, there's another modifier as well. It's 25 points. I'd like to get at least one of those armors before I end the day. If I was really, like, if I was playing on my own, I would probably want to grind out all of an abnormality's armor and weapons before I moved on to the next day. Just so you had it ready for the next day, because who knows what you're going to get tomorrow, basically. But I'm not going to, you know, for the recording, I won't go that long. I think we'll just work on the bird one more time, and then that'll be it. And we'll let Finn have a try again. It'll help. We're actually going to have a lot more sanity than fortitude right now, so we should probably consider doing something for fortitude. Oh, this is looking good. Oh, come on, Finn. Well, 10 out of 12, still pretty good. Alright, so we get at least one Teth level armor, and we're definitely going to want to get the rest of it next day. And then the weapon would be nice too, of course. Actually, a very fast shooting long-range weapon, even at low damage, is quite useful. So this guy does give you pretty solid gear, even if he's a little scary. And yeah, that's it for our day. Easy. Alright, so in the end, nobody dies. Finn gets some sanity and some stats. Blue gets some sanity and some stats. Temperance, I guess. And Fella gets caught up a little bit on sanity. We didn't level up any of the full levels, but we got, you know, more SP max and work speed and all that. It all helps. And I'll be able to take in 2 new viewers this time. So 2 people in chat, if there are 2, will have a chance to join the crew. Now, next up is a pick of 3. One thing you may notice is the circular ones are different than the square ones, or mostly square. The circle ones are, what do they call them? Backer suggested? Kickstarter, kind of? Like, they are, like, patron-supported members. Like, so they are ideas that were made by backers. I'm less familiar with them because my first time playing, I ignored them all. I just went with the default ones. But let's just read them. So, this is a record of the day we must never forget. I already said I didn't really want that. You see a singing in front of your eyes. I have no idea what that means. It is a very splendid and it approaches you. So you see some singing, something, I don't know. I don't even understand it. Or, sir, your angel is chewing a body part of our colleague. I mean, that sounds pretty fun. I mean, a record of the day that we must never forget is not much fun. You see sing. I don't remember what that is. I'm pretty sure I remember this one. This one might be more interesting than these. What do we think? What do I think? Singing. I don't remember what it is. Doesn't sound very interesting. This sounds more fun. We're sticking with fun for this Let's Play. That's the motto. Hello, manager. It's your 3rd day working here. 3 is a mysterious number. Powerful beings in fable often grant others 3 wishes. Well, I am not a mage or a billionaire to grant your wishes. But I know what your predecessors wanted. All of them seek a sort of growth. Leading the company to prosperity, achieving spiritual maturity. You name it, they all wanted to branch out somewhere. How about you? Feel like I got enough spiritual maturity already. I'm super mature. It's time to get paid. Your future is defined by what you do now. And now you work for Lobotomy Corporation. In lobotomy, you can see things that can't be seen, feel things that can't be felt, and do impossible things. Your wish will be granted. Perhaps you could be the best manager I've ever seen. So, did their wish come true? Well, I guess what happened to others isn't important to you. I mean, it would be nice if the other managers were successful and we knew about it or not, because maybe that would relate to whether or not we have any chances of surviving. I will support you to reach your goal of wealth. Super AI. You did your job perfectly again. I have a lot of work to do. My to-do list is always full, but I know I can do it. Just a little more push and I am slower than the others. I always check the list or I miss something important. That's why I have this notebook on me all the time. Except she's an AI, right? Don't you have like a database? You can just put it in there? Well, it's almost worn out. It has always been with me since I began working here in the control team. I know Angela worries about me sometimes, but I am totally in control. In the control team. I think I was born for this job, you know. You probably were made for it, yes? It would be fine if I was not working for the control team as long as the job was similar. Grammar is tough. Malkuth, please finish the report I asked for today. Sure thing, boss. I'll have it on my list. I have it on my list. I will turn it in today. Well, I should go now. It was a pleasure meeting, talking, whatever. The AI is here. They're unstable. Except me, of course. Malkuth is the worst. Haven't you noticed? I can't complain as she's easy to control, though. Aw, controlling the control team that has everything in control. Alright. Complete a meltdown containment job 8 times is the quest 3. So we probably did like 3 of them or something. Yeah, Angela is super sane. She keeps saying how trustworthy and sane she is. I believe her. The AI with blue hair like a morning rain and a smile that everyone loves, that she never smiles. Anyway, that's our next quest. Expand. And don't we get it? I thought I'd get a my second upgrade. Maybe it's the next. Oh no, here it is. Here it is. So, like I said, these 2 upgrades don't even affect us at all right now because we only have 1 department. But we will need them later, and you know, there's no reason not to pick them. So, once we have multiple divisions, we can move units. We can move employees between them. Sounds useful later. All right. Future tubers, thanks for watching and all that stuff. Hope you've enjoyed, etc., etc. Find out next time what this is. It's fluffy and cute. It's a puppy with white fur. We've got a cute little bird and a cute little puppy. Man, we are on a roll for cute little friendly animals. We'll see who it eats tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you next time. For those of you on the live stream, if you would like to join the team, let me know. I am going to go equip somebody with that new armor we got. The beak armor. Jelka, you could totally join in. I mean, I feel like it's just, yeah. It's not like preferential treatment. It's just... Look, I'm in charge. I get the cool red armor. No, I take it back. Fella did so much work with that dumb bird. He can have the bird armor. He'll be fine. All right, and then I guess I better have at least the normal armor on. All right, you're lucky, fella. I felt bad about the bird chomping on you so much. Alright, hire. I do have 2 slots, so if there's someone else besides Jelka, you can also join up if you'd like. Alright, what do we do? Let's see. Jelk. Oh, I can spell. I think that's it. Alright, so then what do we make you look like? Let's see here. Can't have blue hair. I'm the one with blue hair. Fella's real happy about the cute puppy. Let's see. It's a good look. Put in rides? Yeah, don't worry. I could put him in as number 4. That's fair, yeah. Alright, we're just gonna hit each random button 3 times. The third one's what we get. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's what you get. It's all random. Hit it 4 times. Oh. 4. 4. It's very angry. Alright, there you go. Done. Jelka, you're in there. And we do have an extra slot. Congratulations. Hopefully future tuber catches up. He's likely to enjoy this. His rides with queens. That is a good point. And this is one of our YouTube members or whatever. And like I said earlier, I'm going to try to prioritize people who donated to the channel to get a name in here. Because that seems fair, right? Alright, that's some good luck. We'll go with the standard 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's too normal. That's super bland. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bedazzled. It's not bad. I can accept that one. I just don't want so many super plain looks, that's all. Alright, good enough. And at the very least, we give him some armor. So we go Jelka, have some armor. Rides, have some armor. Seen some stuff. Yeah! That's about right. And then everyone at least gets the sanity weapon. It's not going to do a lot to an abnormality that escapes, but it's better than a riot stick. So we all have the penitent stick and at least some armor, although Fella has the best armor. Which, of course, means that he's the one to go meet the puppy, right? Or should I send some other newbie in there? Hopefully we're distinct enough. Yeah, well, you'll each have your own distinct dead eye look that we didn't even double check what you'd get. So, you never know. Hello, lobotomized tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Lobotomy Corporation with your manager, BlueAnkylo. We're still streaming live, as you do, but we're ready for the 3rd day, and I did recruit into the team Rides with Queens and Jelka-Tien. I probably, as always, butcher every pronunciation of name, but there you go, 2 newbies. And Fella got the fancy armor, if you're wondering. Because he worked on the bird so much, I felt it was only fair that he got the beak armor. The Teth beak armor. It's, you know, sleek, without a dent. It's great. It is a little bit better than the penitence armor. So that's good. And everybody else has, you know, at least the basic penitence weapon and armor. So we've got 1 sin armor, except for Fella, who has little bird armor. And then, just so I can show you this right now before I forget. Where is it? Yes, this is the chart I was looking for. So the difference here, I don't want to read all these. There's a lot of information if you ever want to look it up. The reason the Teth class is better is also because of the way the damage formulas work. So if you're wearing Zayn armor fighting something stronger than you, well, I don't know if it goes to -1, whatever. Point is, there's another modifier which you can see here that compares your armor quality to the target's difficulty level, basically. So if you're way higher level, you take way less damage, and if you're way lower level, you take way more damage. So not only does the Teth armor 0.7 against red is better than 0.9, but it's also way better than that because it's a level up. So that's sort of the way it works. The goal here early on is to get everyone into Teth as quickly as possible, and then hopefully He or Wa within reasonable time frame. If you don't get to Aleph Like, Owlif is the top tier, it's very rare. But you can't work your way up the higher difficulty abnormalities without moving up to at least Teth or Heh. There's nothing you can do with that without those, basically. You're stuck fighting the super weak guys. So, anyway, that's the basic idea. Higher tier armor is doubly beneficial. Alright, let's go. Alright, day 3. So our mission is to stop a meltdown 8 times. We could definitely do that if we just extend the day a little bit. Eventually, going multiple cycles will have other problems. But early game, we can do that as many times as we want, and that's no big deal. So we'll probably just do 8 cycles today, and that'll be our quest. Okay, so we've got a cute little puppy. Look at that. It's a little white dog. Now, I know it didn't work on the bird, but I feel like we should try instinct on the dog. Right? Dogs probably have more instinctual behaviors. I mean, we could try to go for emotional answer. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really remember most of these options, which ones are best. I think because Fella has the best armor, he has the best chance to live. And I know instinct didn't work on the bird, but maybe this time. Speaking of the bird, we'll go practice up in the background, just to keep people busy, basically, while we're watching this. And we'll speed up a little bit while we're walking. Alright, here you go. Fella gets to be our number 1. Alright. Its fur is so fluffy and soft. It's good for your depression. So far, we're off to a good start. Tied. 1-1. 2-1. Many employees have seen at least 55 pictures taken in various angles of it. It is a good enough reason to demote you if you don't like the dog. Not doing great. Come on, fella. As I say it, sometimes mysterious parts of human skeleton is found around it, but, you know, who cares? It's fine. It's so cute. Come on, fella. Bad reaction, but you're not dead. That's something. Let's see what his HP's at. He lived. 6 out of 17. I have a feeling it would kill anybody else because he's got quite a lot better armor. So I think he's the only one that can possibly survive. And he's still got a red, which is not great. So he's going to need to go back and heal now. So we'll speed things up. Meanwhile, we'll spend some more time working on the bird. And I'd like to get Finn and Blue to level 2 Temperance off of 1 Sin while we're waiting. While we train other people up in Sanity. Or Prudence. Well, fella, you're not ready. We've got 60 seconds, 50 seconds. Once that ticks up, how you doing here? You're gonna need to be full health for this one. Well, Rides is already dead. Look, this first day might just be a write-off. I'm really demonstrating amazing skills here. I thought we could survive the bird. What a mean bird. Alright. Well, forget about that. Let's just learn about the dog. We made it in time. So we're going to try to use Temperance here to be friendly with it. Its fur is so fluffy, yeah. Yeah, the pictures. We've seen most of these already. Oh, I mixed up. I should have gone in here first. 6 points is enough to get a tip. It likes the instinct work the most, so I did pick the right one. It just didn't work. I got a bad. When other work, then instinct was done on it, the clip-off counter reduced on medium chance. Ugh. So instinct was correct. Although it looks like we got better results out of... Well, fella. You're just not that good with dogs. Squoosh. So, you may notice the first trumpet and the emergency things all over the place. It's a bad sign, generally. Alright. So, let's just say we try a different strategy here. I gotta say, we're not off to an amazing start. I think we do have good early monsters if we can stop dying to them. We just have to get past this early hurdle, and we'll be able to train up a lot faster because they're both going to give us good stats. It's just we're a little bit too weak right now to handle it. Wait, not me. I can't handle this thing. Bella, you get in there. Punishing Bird will be... Oof. Sure hope I can survive. And, I mean, there's no reason you can't train Instinct on one Sin. It's just, it's less successful than these two. Insight and Attachment. We need people to not die to either of these, and that's going to be a little bit tricky. Now, if we could get more of these armors, it'd be a lot safer. That's going better. Alright. This is off to a much better start. I didn't change anything. We did Instinct again first try, just like last time, except instead of getting a bad, he's going to get like a perfect. Or nearly a perfect. Funny. Funny game. So there's obviously some RNG. There's some random variables hidden in here. Oh, because we got way more points, actually. Well, let's go for 2 tips. Clip-off counter decreases when the work was bad. So we got, like, double failures there last time. That's probably why it escapes. Alright, fella, you gotta hold this together. You survive this, and you will be... You will gain enough HP that you'll never die to these two again, probably. Come on, don't you die. Bin. This is looking a little bit better than the one that got him killed last time. Meanwhile, fella... Doing fine, he's doing fine. Also, you can see we got 1 out of 8 for that suppression there. Alright, he did not die. Good job, fella. And it will get better as we get these things ticked off. Don't worry. It'll get easier. Alright, when it escapes, it voluntarily returns after attacking an employee and taking something from their deceased body. That's probably what happened. It killed somebody, ate them, and then went back home. You know, attachment actually works okay on the bird. I sometimes like to just test out, you know, you can see kind of an indicator on how successful you'll be. But we really need the highest, and insight is still the highest. Because if we fail too many times, we just die. So we can't risk it yet. The only one that we could risk it on is probably one Sin. Not getting good results on him won't kill us. But on either of these, it probably will. I know we could end, but I'd like to get the quest done here if we can. So we're probably going to stick around on this day for a little bit longer. Which is good, because we need the armor and stuff. And the stats, and we just need everything. Alright, who's gonna put this bird down? I think I got it. I'll be okay. Oof! Oof, fella! What was that? That was terrible! What are you sleeping on the job, buddy? Come on, don't fail me. So the problem is, a bad result definitely reduced the counter by 1. So if it starts at 2, it's already down to 1. If we fail again, it'll escape, and that'll be somebody dead. Fella, all I can say is, do not fail twice in a row. Or we're gonna have a really bad time. That's not great. Alright, well we actually timed that pretty well, so it worked out. Alright, fella, come on. Oh, we know its name. It's, Paday, I guess, or something like that. And... Fella! Why? Why are you not successful? Well, we're dead. I should never have picked the dog. There's, like, no chance. We're too low level. Yeah, we can't even get away from it. Wow. We need to get a 7 or higher, basically. You can see, it's a 10th class, same as the bird. But, wow, I was not expecting to have this much trouble. So how do we... I think for science... But, like, I'm almost positive that if I send anyone else in there, they're dead. Like, I don't even think we can survive the action without the bird armor. Speaking of which, because fella's dead, we lost one of the bird armor. It's great. But, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine anyone else being more successful here. Except for Finn just suddenly does it perfectly. We have to get a 7 to not die, and that was a 6, so that was still a bad. If something starts going bad, can you run away? As long as you've got max energy, we could end the day here. So I might have been able to save fella's life if I just ended. But that doesn't get us our quest, or it doesn't make any progress. And the problem is, if you steamroll backwards, snowballs into not good. You basically, not being able to finish these guys today just makes the next day even worse, in my opinion. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get through this, because right now, we can't even work Paday, because we're getting fails every time. And I'm not actually sure how we're going to get past that. Because, as far as I know, we're already working on the best option. So the only other thing we can do is raise our stats. So maybe more temperance would increase our success chance. Or it's just all down to ridiculously dumb luck. Look at this. Suddenly, easy, 10 points. Huh. I mean, we don't even need a good. All you need is a normal, technically. I'm thinking. How do we not... Like, I don't have to reset just because fella's dead. We could just accept that he died. And it does get easier as you finish the research. It might be that, because I spent all the time working on temperance here for Blue and Finn, that we actually have better odds than fella did, even though it doesn't say it. As long as he doesn't kill us. How much damage did that do? Yeah, he's not actually killing us with our armor. I thought I needed fella because he had better armor. But it might be better to use the people with slightly better stats. Yeah, well, the dog got out, fella. Your corpse was over there, but it got eaten. You did let you're not supposed to let the dog out, actually. I think I'm gonna restart the day. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna get a drink, and then I will come back in a couple seconds, and we'll try again. I think, I'm just gonna look at the stats here for a second, but I think what I've learned is I actually might have the best odds just because I have a higher work success rate. And I don't actually need the fancy armor that fella has. I mean, his success rate is almost identical. So this is... I don't understand why we kept failing. But yeah, I'm going to take a short break, and I'll be right back. I'll just clip these videos together. Sorry, guys. Alright, got a bit more water. Should last a bit longer here. Let's give this another try. Oops, don't crash into the microphone. Quality streamer. Alright. This time, nobody's gonna die. Alright, we're back. Let's get into this again. So, what have we learned? That I should have spent more time on day 1 and 2 grinding stats out, and I didn't. But such is life. Alright, we're gonna try it out with Luke, because I seem to have the highest temperance skills. We'll see if that works. Meanwhile, clearly we need more people with high temperance work success. And fella should be able to survive the bird to get his sanity prudence to level 2. That's easy enough. Alright. We just need to not fail on the work here. We need, what did I say, 7 or something at least? So, don't be terrible. Come on. There we go. So that's not a failure on our first attempt. That's better. And I didn't die. Only did about half my life in damage. You know, that's great. Bella will keep working on the bird a couple times. The new guys, Jelka and Rides, will just work on their basic level stuff. And I'm gonna go try again on the dog. I'm gonna save my points because I want to unlock the cheapest ones first. 16 total, 12, 12. So you can get to success rate 5 faster if you just do those two in terms of total points. So that's kind of my logic there. That worked out pretty well. Fella's doing real good work on the bird. He's just the bird guy now. He's got the bird armor. He's making us lots of boxes on the bird. He can suppress it just fine. It's great. I apparently am the dog whisperer. So that's me, actually. That's a good result there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team... I did say, like, attachment's probably what's missing, so we should do that. Alright, fella, you just keep working that bird. Everybody's gonna want some guns. I mean, the bird gives you guns, right? Come on, that's not all bad. And I'm working on the dog that's killed us. I mean, the dog's killed more people than the bird, I think. Ah, you're doing fine. Look at that. 9 out of 12. That's a good score. I'm really more worried about myself over here. So hopefully I can get another 6 or 7. Come on! What am I doing? 6! Alright, I got 6, which is bad. But it means I can click... I got just enough points to get success rate up. And hopefully that means we're not going to get another bad. Because, man, I don't think I could... If we get another bad, the clip-off counter will go out and it'll freak out. Oh, don't worry about that. That's fine. That's fine. I was probably supposed to send fella back in because it had a clip-off meltdown and I didn't suppress it, so the bird got out. Man! we're just having a great old day here. So the bird's out. So, okay, last episode we learned that if you attack the bird, you die. Remember, though, that the bird says that it goes back on its own. That is the goal. But the trick is it will just peck at people like that. So we need this guy to not die. Just a couple hits on fella. Actually, fella can probably tank the bird better than anybody. You just stay there. Everybody else get out of there. You'll be fine, fella. Just let it peck at you a little bit. It's for the greater good. How are you doing for health, anyway? Look at that. You got lots of HP left. 3 more hits. He's still got 11 HP, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still at 9 HP. He doesn't get regenerated while there's a monster in it, which is unfortunate. Oh, look! The bird's leaving! Alright, good. So, I guess what I didn't explain, and I suppose it would have been a bit of a spoiler, was that the bird goes out, it basically... It doesn't do very much damage. It just pecks at people, does a little bit of damage. But if you just evade it, it stays out for a much longer time before it goes back. So the best way to get it to go back is to just let it peck at somebody, like poor old fella there. And then it doesn't take too long and he goes home. So, there's that. And then if I fail on Pade, I'm gonna be real mad. Fella's gonna make friends with the bird again. Come on, serious music, you can settle down. Yeah, see, we're fine. Nobody died. Happy music's back. Fella is very good at... Alright, so that's Pade. We just cannot fail at these, I mean, I guess if it does break out, I can escape now. But no, I got to 7, so we're good. This was a much better success. Good. I feel like I need to spend a little bit of time here farming up some stats, because, man, we're just not super successful at this tier of monster right now. So, that's what I'm going to do, a couple extra trips here. Now, I need to go get back into this room before too long, or else Pade will escape, and we've seen that, so let's get back in there. Oh, wait, wrong one. Instinct. Didn't it say, like, if you don't use Instinct, the clip-off counter goes down? Yeah, if you anything but Instinct, it starts to break out. So you pretty much have to stick with that one. So the dog locks you into working on Fortitude, basically. It's good because it helps you increase your max HP, assuming you don't die. And then we've got the bird as, like, they're level 2 monsters. So we've got a level 2 guy that works on HP and a level 2 guy that works on SP. So overall, these are good early game monsters. We just had a little bit of a problem getting it started there. And it'll be much better when we've got people in better armor. We'll be able to buy that soon. A little bit more speed. If we can finish one more round, we should get to 5% more success, which should, I think, basically keep us away from ever failing on it. I think if I can get to observation 4, the chances of getting 0 to 6 using Instinct are going to be very, very slow. Very, very low. Alright, fella, one more time with the bird. Alright, we got double meltdown. So, as I mentioned, as the emergency level goes up, or the meltdown level goes up specifically, the number of units affected by the meltdown increases, so you gotta watch that. Good news, we've got enough points to finish our observation. So you can see instinct, of course, is the only way to go. And then we've got some cute armor and some cute weapons. I have to get back to Pade fairly quick here. I've been doing it myself. I'd like to spread out the stat gaining here. The trick is, I'm pretty sure now that we've got the 10% extra bonus from this, probably anybody can work with Pade. Like, he's not really that dangerous. It is just, we had really terribly low stats, and without the observation bonus, we just didn't quite have enough temperance or fortitude to really handle it. I think it's going to be relatively reliable now. Maybe not 100% safe, but, you know, safe enough that we shouldn't stress out too much. So, now that I have done Pade a few times, I think it's quite likely that my HP fortitude will go up. So I think it's time for someone else to work it, and fella's kind of my backup right now. So I want to focus on 2 people first, and I'll start upgrading other people now in the background. So I'm already at Prudence 2. I'll just do 1 or 2 extra birds myself. And the new guys, Jelka and Rides, will just work on 1 sin for the moment, just to keep them safe. Come on, fella. You're supposed to get a 7. That was stupidly close. I don't know, maybe I was wrong, and high plus 10% is still not enough. That's crazy. Finn can go work on the bird a couple times. Maybe we really just need to grind out a little bit of temperance for our success rate. I mean, according to the mouse over, fella gets a 5% increase in success rate, and I get a 5%. So that shouldn't... I just don't know why. Maybe he just got bad luck. Just good RNG, basically. Because he should have had better odds than I did when I was there because of the plus, you know, the observation percents. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared to work on Pade. I guess maybe what I should do is just keep trying, and if I see a 6, or too many black bars, we just end the day immediately. You know, I have been pretty successful. I would like someone else to start gaining fortitude, though, is kind of the... In the grand scheme of things, we need other people besides one person with good stats. Like, it's nice to have... Well, you don't really need 4 people per area, but it's nice to have 2 or 3 strong characters per area once we get going. Also, you know, I do have a quest that I'm trying to get to. If we can successfully stop this breakdown, we'll succeed on our quest. Alright, we got that 7. Try to get my temperance to 2 as well. Someone else. I wonder if Jelka or Rides could handle the bird. Probably not. I don't know. Let's give Finn 1 shot on Pade. He also hasn't had a chance to upgrade his fortitude at all. I mean, it would be nice to buy some more of the armor too, obviously, right? Like, the more Teth stuff we can get, the better we'll be. Yeah, Finn needs some fortitude. Come on, Finn, don't fail us here. If we... Yeah, he looks like he's good. But if I ever see someone looks like they're going to stop at 6, I got to click end day. We're going to go a little bit longer. Gonna send Finn back in here once or twice. I would like to get our original 3 up to like level 2 in our main 3 stats at least. That'd be nice. But we're still just barely cutting it a lot of the times. The next breakdown, all 3 facilities will, or the next cycle, you know. I'll probably need to skip to the next day pretty soon, because we're getting risky here. Okay, we got to 7 again, that's good. That's what counts. We got 2 more armors, plus the extra bird armor and 2 guns. This is actually probably good enough. Let's finish the meltdowns, and then we'll probably call that a day, I think. Again, I don't want to spend too much time grinding while we're recording, but sometimes it's sort of necessary. Bella, one last trip to the bird before you go. Also, one thing to note is the next room will actually be fairly simple, so I don't need to worry too much about getting perfects here yet. Oh! So I failed there. I wasn't paying very close attention. Let's just click this button there. That's fine. Yeah, everybody survived. We're fine. We're fine. Don't worry about it. So, if an abnormality escapes and you're in combat with it, and you click end day, you're dead, I believe. But if you click it before you get into combat, totally fine. They locked the doors. Everyone went home. It was a fine day. So, Finn. 3 people got promoted. Finn, Blue, and Vela. Level 2 employees. We got some stat gains here, you can see. More SP, finally some HP, which is nice. I went from 15 HP to 51. I went from Fortitude 1 to 3. So, this is what I was trying to say. Having that dog and that bird will be very good for our stats if we can survive. So that's great. I did get Temperance up for the 3 of us. And Fella got almost as much SP as I got HP. So he's doing fine with that bird. And then the new guys, you know, I didn't really send them to do very much, but we'll work on it. We'll work at it. Oof. Woof. Woof. I definitely picked probably 2 difficult ones right off the bat, so making me work for it. Okay, now whenever you're at the 4th, because every department has 4 rooms, the 4th one will always be a tool style room. So these are a different pool of abnormalities than what we've been seeing so far. So you will never see the dog on a tool day, for instance. Many of those who underwent an operation inside the machinery have found rest and become healthy again. So machinery that totally heals you. Save us now and forevermore. The truth shall set us free. Or, excessive aspiration will result in a frenzy. I don't really remember what any of these are. Excessive aspiration. Trying to remember if I have any idea what these will do. I think I remember that one. Sort of. Some of the tools, like, for the most part, you can ignore these a lot more easier than the other abnormalities, the monstrous types. But some of these can become a bit of a pain. You know, becoming healthy, I feel like that's a fair guess. I think this was okay. We'll go with that one. Are you proud of what you do here? If not, this news will change your mind. After your arrival, the energy output has increased by 13%. Good work, chat. You got us to 13%. A 13% is record-breaking. How do you feel? I'm sure proud. Since you came, the company is doing better. That means you're doing your job. There will be only good news. I won't tell you about the bad news. A machine doesn't flatter easily, or at all. It's good to know that you're happy. I remember your face when you first came here. You were withdrawn, face all grim, and alerted to my presence. It's okay for you to be happy now. Can't you hear the cheerful music? It's a special day. See the glass of champagne? Let's toast. Oh, it's not someone's birthday or the Foundation Day. He lost an employee for the first time yesterday. And many more will follow. I am helping you cope with it. With champagne. And 13% more power. They knew the risks from the beginning. Did they, though? The company grows on their sacrifices. So I think she knows about our resets, guys. She knows you died and got, rebuilt or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure they would feel proud of themselves in their dying breath. Yeah. You should respect them. That is why we're toasting now. Cheers for the deceased! To remember the noble sacrifices that will be redacted from company log instantly. I mean, it could be poison, but I'm sure she could kill us many other ways. Let's just drink the champagne. I will give you some tips. To properly drink a glass of champagne, lightly hold the lower stem of the blah 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 blah. Yes, just, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Alright, we get to see some new AIs. Let's be honest, Malkuth. You can't suppress the ordeals with the employees you have. Trust me, I'm from the information team. If you do it by yourself, there'd be too much mental damage to the employees. He's got a scarf. Okay. But you saw it. What we need to think about is the mortality rate of the employees and possibilities of abnormalities escaping. Malkuth, Angela said one crazy employee will kill 10 others. I'm Sapphira of the control team. I might make outrageous mistakes in other aspects, but this I know better than anyone else. I know how to treat employees before they go crazy. I have an action guide for it. Honestly, I might be the only one who follows the action guide. Tell me if you need it. I can always share it with you. I'm okay, but the action guide, I don't need weak employees in my department. Weakness means death. To be in the control team means to be better than everyone else. Nah. Please say something, manager. Weren't you watching what happened to the weak employees? Well, they may have been eaten by a dog or a bird. Would you guys please say something? Well, thank you so much for visiting me. I was happy. Let's meet up again next time with the Upper Saphiras. They really didn't say much. Now I will let them know. The mental corruption of the control team employees exceeded the maximum limit. What did the other Saphiras do in the meantime? The control team failed to handle ordeals. Get more employees and stop the ordeals. I will ask other departments for support. So our next quest, complete the Ordeal of Dusk. As the deterrence of the facility, probably defense of the facility becomes, or well, deterrent, I don't know. More abnormalities become agitated. Abnormalities called ordeals that could not be held down will go into a rampage. Like now. Can you calm the employees down by suppressing one of the ordeals at dusk? So, unfortunately, we can't actually do this quest for a very, very long time. Which is good, because the dusk ordeal is very, very dangerous. But it's nice to know about it. The ordeals scale in difficulty from dawn to noon to dusk to midnight. And we don't even have the option of doing dusk ordeals until much further into the game. So we'll take our last research. Let's send employees home, basically. I'll show you the button when we get back into the game. And that's it. So we actually can't hire anyone new because we're full up on slots. Although I could spend some points to raise some stats, which I might do. I think what I would do is get the newbies, Jelka and Rides, to level 2 Temperance and maybe HP, actually. So if you click that button there, click on somebody, click Reinforcement, you can upgrade their stats a bit. Justice is special. It's very expensive. It's like 3 times the cost of other stats. So with that, we can get them to like Temperance and Fortitude level 2 at least. We're just cheating. We're just paying for their stats. Pay to win, guys. But this will get them a lot more survivable. And in fact, I would recommend probably, once we get past the first introduction, generally if you hire someone, you should probably raise at least those 3 stats to level 2, because it's pretty cheap, and it's better to have one person with those stats than 4 people with no stats, basically, because you probably don't have the equipment anyway for all of them. Does anyone else need 1 point? Fella could get a little bit of HP. I'm pretty awesome, obviously. Finn doesn't really have a name, so doesn't get priority. Fella, enjoy some HP. There you go, 7 more HP points for you. Now it's wait, 6 more, whatever. Some number. Anyway, it's just kind of nice that you can do stuff like that. So now we've got 5 people who are a little bit more competent rather than maybe 2 or 3. Alright, I better end the episode here, and I'll do some equipment management in between. And next episode, we will find out what this is. That'll be fun. I still couldn't afford to buy all the dog armor yet, so we don't have all of those. And I must have forgotten to buy that on a retry or something, but yeah, we got the bird armor. And all the 1 sin armor. Okay, cool. Those of you in the future, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and have a great day. Alright. I want to do at least 1 or 2 more days before we end the stream for the night. I think if we could finish up the control team section on today's stream, that would be optimal. What are the PE boxes? I don't really know. They're just... It's just energy, right? Like, you do work on an abnormality to get energy. You use the energy to power giant mecha robots or something. I don't know. And you just sell the energy to people. It's kind of weird. But you also use the energy to research, so, you know, who knows. Alright, equipment, before we forget. So now we've got a level 2 weapon and more level 2 armor. So the main difference here, you can see that the sort of like a little loot box. Yeah, kind of. A loot box is like a little disposable battery. 1 loot box of energy. Who knows how much is in it. The main thing here for the dog armor is quite weak to mental damage, white damage. But it's specifically good against black, which we haven't seen yet. But both of our Teth abnormalities do red damage, so it doesn't really matter. They're all good right now. The only thing that does white damage is 1 sin, and it's not going to hurt us, so it's fine. Not enough to matter. So Fella's still in his bird armor. I think I had to break through with the dog armor, so I'm going to wear the dog armor for now. And then, you know what? I'm going to give the name characters priority, so they can get the Teth tier armor. And then, because Finn doesn't, he's nobody's character, he's just a random employee. He just can wear the old stuff. And then for weapons, we've got 2 red weapons. So Fella, I mean, it matches your armor, so you can match it up. And Brides can do the same thing, just because it matches. You know, you gotta be synchronized. Clearly, it's very important that your outfit matches. If we ever get, what is it? If we go back, if we ever get the ego gift, the 5% drop, the beak technically completes the ensemble with a little bird beak. And then if we ever complete the dog's one, we get a little dog ears to go with the dog armor. So that's pretty cool. Alright, let's go another day, 2 more days, I believe. Hello, cute tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play the game with cute animals that all try to kill us. Lobotomy Corporation, with me, BlueAnkylo. That's the intro. So, between episodes, equip some armor. Our guys now have mostly Teth armor, except for the no-name Finn, and that should help keep us alive. And I think I showed buying the stats at the end of the last level, so most people have at least 2s in their stats, which should make things a little bit easier for the moment. And with that, let's get started. Our current quest we cannot complete because it needs to be day 19, which is a long way away. So no quests, just research and get some skills up, and that's pretty much it. So we'll probably have a shorter day. Should be nice. But first, we're going to learn about this thing. Oh, it's this thing. I know this thing. We're going to send Finn in. Because if we're going to ruin anybody, we're going to ruin Finn. And he doesn't even have any armor. Perfect. Alright, this thing is actually not a good tool. But you'll see. Have fun, Finn. Totally safe. Yes, no, yes, no. No. So, it's back and forth, back and forth. If you end on a yes, well, I don't want to spoil it, but yes is probably better than ending on a no. The good news is he doesn't die. He just doesn't have very good stats at all. So, because we stayed in a little while, we learned that an employee using the machine will experience an increase in all status. Well, that's not what he got. So let's try again. Let's try to get to the next tier of research. I mean... So he got the upgrade that time. He's now our best employee! Great! It's an awesome ability! So now we know that it's called You Must Be Happy. And the longer you're in it, who knows, something happens. So now he's got great stats. We can go do all kinds of easy stuff. Like, it should be much easier to work with... Did you see that? Level 4! He's fine! I don't even know. If he gets a 6 here, I'm gonna be so mad. We can't finish Payday with level 5 Temperance. Anyway, this is a tool that we won't really actually be using. As much as that looks pretty awesome. We need to finish researching it here. We still got lots of time to get to the final research. So you just stay in there for a while, you'll be fine. Just gotta learn how this thing works. Alright, level 2. The amount of stat rising becomes higher the longer the machinery is used. It must be really high by now. But I want to research it all. Keep using it. You'll be fine, Finn. Don't worry about it. It's not like some random must be happy machine would ever kill anybody. You have to stay in there quite a long time. Oh, level 3 is ready. Be sure to stop the machine only when yes is displayed. If usage is stopped with no, all stats will drop as much as if they'd increased. Huh. I mean, it looks like it's mostly saying no right now. He is stuffy, yeah, that's true. We'll finish the research, though, and then we'll let him out. If he lives that long. I mean, he hasn't died yet. Alright, level 4. Increased stats will return to normal the next day. However, employees who've gained more than 200 vanish. He already had 58 in every stat, so he's already dead. He's a dead man walking. Sorry, Finn. Warning! There's been an incident where an employee who used the target 5 times exploded on the spot. Well, he better hope he gets a yes. Nope. So, now he's got 0 stats. Basically. It's like level 1, very minimum. Terrible. The good news is, he fully researched it. It's totally done. He can go chill. So, the good news is we can mostly ignore the thing. But, it's very difficult to get a lot of value out of it. If you only use it a short time, you could get a small stat boost at the beginning where you can hit a yes. Like, you can kind of just time clicking on a yes. But it won't be a very big upgrade. It might be like 10 or 20 to all stats, which is nice, but... I mean... I have an idea. So, fella, you're going to be our new dog whisperer because you have a little bit low HP, right? You got the lowest HP? Not counting Finn. Well, Rides has a little bit lower. But I want fella to become better with dogs. Because I hear he has a dog. Because he let the dogs out. So, we're going to try. Alright, here we go. Normal speed. Good luck, fella. I'm not gonna leave you in very long. Okay, almost there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Alright. What do we get? Look at that. Plus 18 and everything. Easy. And that shouldn't make you disappear. It says it needs 200 to disappear. More than 200 status makes you disappear. So as long as we're at... I assume that's 18 times 4. That's, I don't know, some number. That's less than 80 anyway. There's no way that'll kill you. Even if they count the doubles, then it's 18 times 6. That's still less than 200. You're totally fine. And now you can just go work on the dog, because you're going to be awesome with all your new stats. Look at this. Look at all those stats. Alright, but seriously, there's not a whole lot else to do here. It's got a 9. Not bad. Oh, now someone has to go in there. Well, actually, you don't. So, when there's a meltdown, if... Let's see, a more example. If the dog meltdown, if you ignored it, the clip-off counter would go down and it would escape. So this would be a bad one to ignore during meltdown mode. But if it's a non-escaped object, like One Sin, if he breaks down, or if he has a meltdown, nothing happens other than you lose a little bit of your energy. So right now, we can actually ignore meltdowns on One Sin or the Tool, and only deal with meltdowns on these two because they can escape. Although, the bird can escape without killing anyone. So primarily, we need to stop meltdowns on Pade. Using the machine 5 times forever, or just in a day, let's see. It probably means 5 times on the same day. It's part of the translation is not always super clear, but there are very few things that keep track over time from day to day. Almost everything resets at the end of the day. Like, almost everything resets at the end of the day. Plus, it does say that, like, your stats should return to normal the next day. I'm pretty sure that resets the counter of how many times you've used it. But, again, I could be wrong. We can test it out on Finn. He used it like 3 times, so if we use it 2 times tomorrow and he blows up, then we know. Alright. So, fella, you're going to use the dog one more time. We're just kind of getting some stat ups here. Test it on Finn. Exactly. Poor Finn. He might even just disappear. I don't even know. So you might notice that at the moment we have no easy way to train Repression or Justice. That is the hardest stat to train. Definitely. So now I'm just going to split up our training a little bit while we rack up some energy. I don't want to waste too much time here, but some extra energy wouldn't hurt. Or some extra stats wouldn't hurt, that is to say. Oof. Jelka, don't you fail. Alright, we got another meltdown on the machine that we can ignore. I think if we pay attention, it'll probably drop our energy by like 10 points or so, but... You know, we could also just end the day right now. But, I would like to get some more people to better stats. It's tough, guys, because, like, I kind of want to grind it out, because it makes our future a lot easier. If I don't grind it out now, then what are we going to do when we get a level 3, a heh level? We need like an extra fast forward. If you're wondering when I'm choosing employees like this, I'm often just thinking who could use, who's at full HP and could use the stat that I'm training. Like the bird, I'm in training Prudence. The dog, I'm training Fortitude. The One Sin, I'm training Temperance. So I'm just looking for whoever's got like the lowest level of those stats and enough HP to survive. That's kind of all I'm really working on right now. Like, Blue and Fella are both tier 3 fortitude, so we can probably skip them on the trainer for Pode for now. Level 3's, like, if you think about it, Zayn's level 1, Teth is level 2, Heh is level 3, Wah is level 4. So basically, I feel like once you're level 3, you're already one level of fortitude higher than the guy is, so you probably don't need to train higher than that. Not that having more HP will ever hurt, but... So it's mostly Jelka and Rides that need a little bit of stat ups right now. And I'd like to get... I mean, honestly, getting your Temperance to 3 as well wouldn't hurt. That was kind of close there. Oh, you probably should go back to heal between. Bella, I actually need you to fix the dog. You can go heal up after the meltdown's over. Because the dog cannot escape. Let's do... Dog will be fixed. No problems. No puppies. Yeah. That would be terrible if this thing started reproducing. Alright. Fella and Blue have enough fortitude. Jelka can go work on it. And again, I don't generally keep a great mental track of like how many times I've sent every single person in everywhere. It's not worth it. I'm gonna do this cycle and then one more cycle of jobs and then we'll call it good. Like, we'll finish up this meltdown and then I'll move on to the next day, because no need to sit around here watching this forever, because spoiler alert, the next day is gonna look very similar, so we don't need to do this for too long. So who was that? That was Jelka. So then next time around, we'll send Jelka to the bird and Rides to the Pide. And that'll have to do for the moment. And Finn, if you survive... Fella, oh right, the reason you have level... His stats are buffed, so the display here is not 100% accurate to what he actually has. Because those are going to go back down to normal at the end of the day. So it looks like he's overpowered, but it's only because of the machine. Now, that is to say, I could possibly put every single person into the machine, and everybody could have a plus 20 buff all the time. Maybe it is 5 times total, because that would be pretty overpowered. A long-term 20 to 30 stat buff to everything is pretty huge. That's something for Finn to test on the next day. Nope. It is not something for Finn to test on the next day, because... Wait, where's Finn? It's fine. It makes room for another YouTuber to join in. Anyway, Fella, his stats, it looks like they went down, but they didn't really go down, because that's just the temporary debuff wearing off. He got so stuffy, he died. The work you did still progresses your increasing in stats. It's just your temporary stats went away. So, yeah, that's fine. Nothing to worry about there. Let's, we'll probably do, for this video, because there's really nothing to go for day 4 and 5, we'll just skip right through both of them on the same episode, because there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about. The founder said this to me several times. Each successful experiment makes you a better person. The company became great after repeated failures and difficulties. So will you. Every day in the company is a step forward towards greatness. How was your day? Of course it was fine. Let's skip past the pleasantries. Manager, how has your life been? I mean, it's been okay. I don't know. There's no good option. Leading a normal life is an achievement of sorts. You can always improve the quality of your life. It's a cheap metaphor, but a tree doesn't just grow anywhere. It requires fertile soil, the right temperature, and water. Most seeds end up on barren soil. For them, rooting and sprouting small leaves are a challenge full of pain. I can't provide you with water or light, but I will do my best to tend to the soil. Thanks, Angela. Good day. So, you may have noticed we didn't select a abnormality this time around. The 5th day of your cycle, when you finish off a section, there's no 5th room. So there's no new abnormality. So most days you get an abnormality, except the last day of your 5 cycle. So that's why we're going to group these together. We've got enough points to hire somebody, although not give them any stats. Let me pick someone else. A long time. Let's go with Grotham, another person. He's not in the chat right now, but he shows up pretty often. He's one of our YouTube members, and we'll get him in there relatively early. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. Not good enough. 1, 2, 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Happy! Or... yes! Just sleep! Sleep tight. That'll do. I feel like that's appropriate in this facility. So, unfortunately, Grotham is not going to have a great early adventure. With no stats, it's going to be difficult to work on anything besides one sin. But we'll let him play around on one sin, and then probably by the next day we'll have enough lobotomy points to upgrade him a little bit. Now, that's not to say I won't give him anything. When Finn died, he stole our weapons and armor, so what a jerk. But I will give Grotham at least the basic armor and weapons. Not that we have anything else available. Alright. That's our team. Nothing else to change around. You can see our stats are going up. I have a feeling I'm just going to ignore this tool, because it sounds a little risky right now, and I'm not a huge fan of risky options, so that's kind of the plan. 5 people per department. There will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 departments. So maybe 50 people max, I think. Something like that. Alright, let's get to work. So, Grotham, I'm going to try to get his attachment to level 2 for free, and then I'll spend 2 points to raise his fortitude and prudence later. Insight, the goal will be to get people to level 3 fortitude and prudence. So Jelka's already got level 3, now it's Ride's turn. Punishing Bird, same thing, trying to get people to level 3, which means Blue and Fella get a lot of the day off. Lucky us. I mean, Fella's stats aren't bad, but we're missing out on those huge bonuses now. Oh, by the way, you got some dog ears from all the dog work. I think that might be our first ego gift. Jelka also has the dog ears. It's just what you always wanted, right? We've got... So, one thing that's sort of unfortunate is the dog ears overlap the same slot as the one sin, whatever, brambles. So, you either get 2 SP and better work on one sin, or 4 HP but a debuff to your success and work speed. So, this is not like a great... I could have actually got more armor in base there. Whoops. We could have 5 people with better armor. Oh, well. But yeah, anyway, that's sharing the same slot. This one is a brooch slot, so this is an extra one that we can fit in there. Accessories are auto-equipped, yes. That is correct. Alright. Well, we're already pretty much, everyone's up to fortitude. Can they be replaced? Basically, the way it works is you can only have one for each slot. And when you're given the new one, you, like, throw away the old one. So if, for instance, during this work session, I successfully get the 5% chance drop, my current headband, whatever, from one sin will get replaced by the dog ears. It did not, but that's what could have happened. Alright, so we're going to have Jelka work on the bird primarily, while Rides gets his fortitude to 3. This will be another pretty easy day. There's not a lot to really do here. Get some stats to level 3, and that's about it. I think if we've got most people with Teth armor and level 3 primary stats, there shouldn't be too much that we can't handle in the next section. Because we're going to go down from control, we're going to go down, and we'll get one of our rooms down here. And it's more likely we'll see more dangerous... That's unfortunate. So we already lost one of our padets. Sucks. This day might end a little bit earlier if we can't succeed on the padet. We'll do one more time for Grotham with 1 sin. I'm worried here. It might be better to ignore the dog once he's down to 1 on his counter. But I can end anytime I want. I just have to pay close attention. Alright, meltdown starts. We'll pause so I can pay better attention here. And I gotta pay attention. So don't let this... This looks much better. We just can't get a 6 or else he gets out. We'll probably go a couple more cycles and then we'll get out of here. And it's nice to have some reserve PE boxes here as well. It means if someone dies and you lose their armor, you can just rebuy it back immediately, which is quite nice. Well, Jelka's not fully healed. Neither of them are. You know what? I'll go cover the meltdown just so he doesn't get out. Should be safer. I mean, I don't know for sure, because level 1 and level 3 Fortitude say high the same. It's hard to know if my stats in Fortitude really make much difference here. Certainly higher Temperance will help because of the work success, but it's hard to know for a given, you know, rating if it's going... If it's like high, high +1, high +2, high +3, like I don't know if that's actually true or not. So we've sent Jelka to the bird quite a few times. That should have his SP go up quite a lot. Grotham has done quite a lot of temperance. Yeah, we won't do this too much longer, but better to get a little bit ahead now with our current employees than have an unbeatable monster next time. That is to say, there's kind of diminishing returns. It's much better to train on high-level monsters than low-level monsters. Grotham already got the headband, yeah. It is 5% chance. I mean, 1 in 20, I don't know. He seems to be doing quite well. Everyone's got a head slot already, actually. That's pretty good. Does anyone have the brooch, though? The brooch is a little bit harder to see. He might. Don't think anyone got the bird beak yet. Oh, no, there you go. It's kind of hard to see on your chest there, but Jelka actually has the bird beak and the dog ears. So that's what counteracts his well, he gets a debuff to temperance basically, and then a buff to justice, which is attack speed and movement speed, which +2 doesn't make that much difference. That's like for the most part early game, I wouldn't focus on the ego gift drops all that much. Plus or minus 1 or 2 doesn't make that much difference. The bird wouldn't even give you the beak. I can send you in there one more time. You got a 5% chance. There is a way eventually to increase the chance of that drop rate. So if you don't like those tiny percents, you can raise that a little bit. No, don't send them into the bird. Alright, we can get out of here now anytime we need to. There you go, fella. You'll be fine. Alright, so I sent... We'll do one more dog for rides. That should get him to Fortitude 3 for sure. There we go. Fella's super happy to be in there with the little friendly bird again. And if we stick around too long, the bird will escape just from us working the other abnormalities, so it's probably better to get out eventually. Tell you what, just to be fair, I'll go in there one more time too. Did you get the brooch, though? That's what I was really sending you in there for. You did not get his beak. Sorry. Alright, let's do, We'll finish this up, we'll do one more set of 3, and then we'll get out of here. I could do this for hours. We could just get everyone up to max stats on the first 2 monsters. That's the way to do it. Alright. Insight for... I mean, I sent Jelka in there a lot. Let's send Rides in. We'll send... I don't want to send Grotham in there. Let's just try to make sure Grotham gets his Temperance up, and then we can buy him some Fortitude and Prudence at the end of the... at the in-between time. So this will be our last cycle. No big deal. Early on in the game, you can do this pretty much forever if you want. Later on, you won't even be able to do this, because as your meltdown level goes up, there will be events that you just can't survive. So this kind of grinding is no longer available after a while. Which is kind of why I like to do it early on. This is the only time that it's safe to just waste cycles on this kind of stuff. Eventually we'll have crazy monsters spawning in the hallways like Malkuth was warning us. Actually, I think starting on day 6 we'll start seeing ordeals, I believe. Alright, there we go. Did anybody get any beaks? That does not look like a beak. Not a beak. Not a beak. So just Jelka. Jelka's the chosen bird. Good enough. You do have a gun. It does like 2 damage. The monsters probably have like 200, so don't be too excited. Now, this is an unfortunate side effect here. If you don't work on a stat at all, sometimes it will go down a little bit. So Fella's Fortitude went from 3 to 2, which is unfortunate. But you may notice his HP did not go down. So I think it's just that your work stat goes down a little bit over time if you're not working on it. But it's generally like, it's pretty easy to get that back now. Like you're right up, you're just below enough to have 3. So you go do 1 work with the dog and it'll go back up kind of thing. Grotham did get to Temperance 2, which is what I was going for, and everybody else got some basically HP and SP the way we wanted. Now that we're past like this, the teens, the mid-teens for HP and SP, now that we're into the 40s, 30s, 50s a little bit, it will be much harder for us to die to low-rank monster damage while we're working on it. You know, we had the bird kill a couple people just with passive damage ticks. That shouldn't be a huge problem on low-level monsters now. So we can sort of skip their damage type a little bit and just focus on the more dangerous ones as they show up. Which may or may not be right now. So what do we have? Seagulls. That is not dangerous. That's a very easy one. The more blood it has, the more beautiful it is. Sounds like it might be bad. Or everything will be peaceful while you're under the fairy's care. So, again, I'm trying not to spoil things. This is another Zayn, a level 1. This one is also a Zayn, a level 1. I don't think I've ever had this one before, but I believe it's at least a Teth. So, in the purpose of getting better armor and weapons, and also better stats, these guys are kind of not great choices, although they're safer, because it's much less likely they'll kill you. So if you're playing along, I would recommend taking either the Seagulls or the Fairies, because they're both fairly safe, easy to use abnormalities, but they are Zayn, so you're not getting amazing armor. The Bloodbath, though, oh yeah. I don't know if I've ever even had this, so... The more blood it has, the more beautiful it is. Yeah, I think I know what it is, I just have never actually had it myself. We'll go with that. As you know, there are a lot of employees working for the company. Most of them want to know more about you. Some will show initiative and approach you first. It's funny knowing you in person doesn't improve the odds. There are no regulations that prevent you from interacting with them in person. It seems the one who made the rules didn't consider situations like this. It is a good opportunity for you to show them that you care. Words travel faster than you might think. I am not going to stop someone from reaching you. But you don't have to do everything they want. Just thank them for their effort and tell them you wish they would keep up the good work. Great managers. Great managers. That's a win-win, don't you think? Is that how I should reply to all my comments? Thank you. Keep up the good work. Are you following me? What we need is a gesture of goodwill. Nothing more. Don't go overboard. Give them a vending machine and they will demand a bar. I expect you to make the right decision. So, now you can see the next 3 sections. And you only get one choice at the moment, but you sawed. You sawed. Now I'm in charge of the information team. Would you like to open the team before starting the day? So he's the information expert. He wears a stupid scarf, and he's just stupid. You saw it. Got a big Y on his arm. I'm Yashad. He seems to say that a lot as well. Alright, so it's another repository day. I think maybe the repositories are just every time you unlock a new section or something like that, maybe. That'll definitely be a TEF. So, the ones that have 8 are basically Zains. The ones that are 12s are TEFs. If it says 16 or 20, I'm not 100% sure, but it might be a Heh. No, 16 is Heh, 20 is Wa, the level 4, and then 30 is Aleph. So you can basically tell what tier it is just by looking at that number there, I think. And then these ones sometimes change a little bit, but the main number, 8, 12, 16, 20, 30, is how you determine how dangerous it will be. So at least we got a level 2, which is a little bit better for training. We got lots of points. Let's spend those before I forget. So, new Grotham. There you go, a little bit more survivable. I think Blue and Fella, we're going to head down to lead the information team. It's generally smart to send your strongest employees to the new section as you unlock them. Because generally, that will be your most dangerous abnormalities. Also, they're new, so you don't know what to do. And then the old, like the B team, they can handle the old ones that hopefully they already know how to work with. Now, we have some weapons and some armor. So let's give Grotham the cute armor. And might as well have the matching paws. So the cute paws are very short range, normal attack speed, which is not great. But it does red damage, so, you know, that's something. Who else has the puppy? Me. Great. Well, I'll have the paws then, I guess. And, why is there a mismatch? Oh, you get 3... Well, why would you do that? I want 3 armors and 3 paws. Not 3 armors and 2 paws. Jerks. Hello, change name. Welcome back. So basically what I was going to say was I wanted everyone to have Teth weapons and armor, but one person is stuck with a Zayn weapon. So Jelka will just have to get along with that. 3 streams years apart. Well, that's okay. I'm going to recruit probably one more person, although we don't really have enough things to work on right now, but I want to keep ahead of the recruitment game. Also, it gets these viewers in a little bit quicker. So, I have enough points to at least start with a half-decent employee. And we'll go with, let's see, I'll pick another one of my patrons that hasn't got in yet. Jiral is another one that seems to come around pretty often. So, not like that, like that. So that gets kind of most of the mainline patrons and memberships in. There'll be more for sure as time goes on, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. Is there any eyes we haven't seen yet? Cross. There you go. I don't think we have anyone with black hair yet, so that's good. First person with black hair, and that'll do. Alright, so there you go, Jarrell. That gets us another valuable employee to throw away. Actually, you know what I should do? This is a no-name person. They don't even get a name. I'm going to use Dia to experiment with the whatever it's called, the You Must Be Happy. Because I need to test out if it's 5 times on the same day or 5 times in their life. So what I can do is, in the next day, Dia can work it, say, 4 times. And then on the day after, if they explode immediately, then we know it saves it across days. And if that's the case, it's really useless. But if Dia can do 4 times on one day and then another 4 times on the next day, that means that it's actually pretty useful, and we could easily get everybody some base stats up if we have a difficult abnormality to deal with. So if we find something that we're just not quite strong enough to handle, we can send them in, get a +10 or a +20, and then maybe that'll be enough. But anyway, that's the end of this episode. I suppose at the very least Jarrell should have some basic armor, so let's do that. But we'll have to wait till we get better stuff. And we'll have to learn more. Oh, you know what I've been forgetting? Oh, I'm terrible. I haven't been reading the stories for the birds. Okay, before we end our stream. A little confident bird that punishes the weak, the sinners, and other profane ones. Some employees stated that it looks fairly cute after seeing its small wings flapping. People have been committing sins from a long time ago. For a long time. Why do they commit such a thing? Even when they know that it's bad, a little bird wondered. It must be because they don't have someone that punishes bad people. Foul things will never happen if I take that role myself. A little bird moved out of the forest that it had been living in for a lifetime and never went back. So, again, this does relate to some other abnormalities. It used to live in a forest and it punishes bad people, and it's like a punishing bird. That kind of explains why if you ignore it, it doesn't really hurt you, but if you attack it, suddenly it goes crazy. It considers that a bad person, I guess. And then I didn't do the dog either, so the dog story, oh boy. One last story before we wrap up. Holy smokes. Alright. I'm out of water. Of course I'm out of water. This abnormality is based on a backer, a tumblebug backer. Alright. Fluffy, cute puppy with white fur. This abnormality is so cute that just looking at it makes you feel better. It has the eyes of an angel and is the purest thing in the world. Further description of this creature is deleted for brevity's sake. The sentences were just, it's cute, in various ways. This abnormality has absolutely no negative influence. It's just that your heart could ache if you look at it for too long because of the cuteness. Employees who enter this abnormality's containment unit tend to lose control and often have to forcefully be removed from the unit by other employees. Caution is advised as the other employees sometimes also get captivated by its cuteness and lose control. Is that what happened, fella? Is that what you let it out? Attempts to bring the abnormality out of the containment unit may occur, but most of the time they are suppressed. When there are too many employees that want to work with the abnormality, a lottery is held to decide who to go. Employees show symptoms of mental regression, such as slurred speech upon entering the containment unit, but it seems only temporary. Many employees refer to this abnormality as good boy Pode, but its official designated is Pode. Be cautious not to get confused. It's not a good boy. This is a bad boy. Every employee who enters this containment unit must file a video or photo report involving the abnormality. Extremely important. A company this size always has a myth or two. You can hear bones breaking if you walk down the hallways at night. If you go in and see what that sound is about, you will see that cryptid yeti eating another employee. Now, if you remember, when it broke out, it did not look like a little dog. It definitely looked larger. Perhaps like a yeti. But we don't have any abnormality that looks like yeti. Alright, John. You need to be thankful. It's a rare opportunity for a Jacob to be working on a good boy Pude. Now, I don't know if that's a typo, or if literally the employees are classified as a name type. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, you're a employee Jacob style. I have a feeling that's not a typo. It's hitting me with paws. Is this an attack? He wants you to feed him. Don't you know that it's corporate trend to always carry dog food or two? I don't really like animals. By the way, this puppy is pretty beefed up. Is this how puppies are? This one must have played catch a lot. We used to play catch pretty often just to see him running for the ball. We stopped for some reason. Hey, did you see his face when I fed it? It was super creepy. Oh, it's just your imagination. He's an angel. Oh, he's a good boy. Does this thing have some kind of mental manipulation power? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, the cutie pie. Oh, the cutie pie. Have you been waiting for me? Or have you been waiting for? This is still John. Have you been waiting for me, PewDiePie? PewDie? Not PewDiePie. Hey, it's eating something. But aren't we the first people to come in here today? Oh, you good boy was hungry, hmm? Oh, he's so cute. Oh, look, he's chewing on it. What the hell are you eating? Oh, it's a finger of James. He went missing last patrol. Look at that nail. Can't you remember him bragging about how he had a shape of a heart drawn on his nails? I told you this thing's up to no good. Oh, I can't believe it. Who? This abnormality's the killer. I can understand your shock, but I've told you numerous times there can't be a cute pet in this place. I'm glad you finally come to your... Who didn't feed him in time? Oh, this poor thing must have been starving all night. It's heartbreaking. Maybe we should suppress it. Oh, how could you do something so violent to this cute little boy? Look at his eyes. Animals are innocent. The cutie boy was so good. The abnormality shows no reaction. Only a sound of a bone being chewed is heard. Sir, your angel is chewing a body part of our colleague. What are you, a newbie? Don't you know anything cute is forgiven? I've never heard about that and don't believe it. We must tranquilize it. If you won't, I will. No! And the recording cuts out. Thus, I requested a motion of the employee who fired a tranquilizer to Pode. Such an animal abuser has no place in our company. Our good boy, Pode, is greatly shocked by this incident. He only eats 5 kilograms of his favorite snack now. Which leads to another request for the new snack for Pode. High-class salmon rich with vitamin B. I'll be waiting the reply. Reply. Request accepted. In your next request, attach 5 different photos of good boy, Pode. So yeah, he might have some mental manipulation or something. But there's a good story for us. Alright, that's it for today. For those future tubers watching, thanks for watching and I hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you next time. For those of you that came out to the late night stream, thanks for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed. And I will see you guys, well, now that we're started up again, I'll have to try to do another stream, hopefully tomorrow or the day after, to try to keep this train a-rolling. Because now we got a new game, we got to actually play through it, right? Right? Alright. I'll try to put up a notice in advance a little bit so people can know when to come. Anyway, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by and chatting. I will see you next time.